Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Let's talk facts. What's going on, Jared? What's going on, Lord? It's only 8 of us, 9 of us. We'll see what happens, but it's whether it be 10 or 100. We're going to talk facts today and talk about these Cowboys on this preview show. Let everybody kind of ease their way in, and then we'll get on topic, talk for a few minutes, see who we get here in the next 4 to 5 minutes, and then we'll get right to the show. If not, if anybody comes in late, they'll have to catch up. Jared says we have a chance, but only if Mike runs the ball. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. If Cooper Rush is more than a star than Rico, we lose. Yep, we're going to talk about that too. What's up, Lord? Contrary to popular belief, Rush isn't that good. He will not win a duel with Baker Mayfield. Yep, we're going to talk about that too. We have to tell the uncomfortable truth and realize that there's a bit of fugazi element of Cooper Rush in terms of narrative. Yeah, he's a mythical unicorn. I don't understand it, but I do understand it. It's the Dak Prescott hate. What's going on, the Queen? Yeah, we talk facts and kill BS narratives no matter who shows up. Yep, for sure. And we're going to tell the truth. I released a video yesterday about Micah Parsons and what he's doing, and I'm going to talk more about that today because it is so funny that the Cowboy fanatical fan base, and this includes even some of the beat writers, I'm realizing, and even some of the Dallas Cowboy YouTubers. I don't understand why we go with these narratives. We follow narratives. We don't follow what our eyes are telling us, what our ears are telling us. We don't follow what our eyes are showing us and what our ears are telling us. We don't follow those things. We don't follow the film. We don't follow the stats. We don't even follow the analytics in reality. We don't follow any of those things. We are just up and down like waves in the ocean when it comes to this team. We ride whatever wave is going on with this team. What's going on, Nisi? Glad you in. We go whatever wave is going on with this team. And man, this is why this team, a long time ago, some of the younger folk might not realize it, but they used to call the Dallas Cowboys the Cardiac Cowboys. This was before even Jimmy Johnson. They called them the Cardiac Cowboys because there have always been, not necessarily the drama, but there have always been times with this team where it's like it's just taking you up and down, up and down, up and down. And so I just don't get caught up in the narratives. I'm watching what this team is doing. I'm watching how Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones are moving. And the thing that they're doing with this whole Micah Parsons thing, it is a literal tragedy. And I'm sorry, the Players Association need to do their job. If I was on the Players Association, I would literally be instructing players on teams. Don't discuss your contract in the court of public opinion. That's number one. Number two, you better get all the money you can in this league because it's not guaranteed you're going to play tomorrow. I mean, there have been some great players in this league that just couldn't finish it out. I mean, DeMarion Overshown comes to mind right now. We're going to see how his career goes. But, you know, you got guys like Terrell Davis, very short careers. I mean, this league, it is a privilege to play in this league. It's not owed to you. And you better make all the money you can. Because when you're done and your body is all broken up, everybody don't walk out of this league able to do certain things. Man, you better understand that this is a football business. And don't let, why? This is one thing I've always agreed with Shannon Sharp on. I'm not giving billionaires discounts. Billionaires? Ask Jerry Jones. Ask him. Ask him how many discounts does he give. Ask Jerry Jones that when he does a deal. Ask Jerry Jones, does he leave money on the table? Does he leave money on the table? Because I promise you, he's not leaving money on the table. What's going on, Jameson Taylor? What's going on, Lewis? All right, we're about to get started. We got a lot of ground to cover, and even more ground to cover that I don't even have recorded. I mean, I don't even have down on my list here. But I want to kind of get started on this Cowboys things. Again, welcome everybody. Make sure as you come in, you hit that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share, like. Let's get started. Here we go. So when we look at the today's show, these are the four main things. These will be the four main things we will be talking about. We will be talking about the Cowboys preview against the Buccaneers, because I am telling y'all, this is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Hold on a second. Jared said, let's see, he said, can I do me a favor? Let's see, hold on. He said, can you do me a favor and actually give the general public the context needed behind the stats of Rush and Dak this season? Yeah, I'll get into that as we get into this, as we go along. But for sure, and for sure with Cooper Rush, it's easy. It is easy work when you talk about Cooper Rush, because the reality is this season for the Cowboys, and we'll get into this after the preview, but the reality for the Cowboys is this has really been a tale of two seasons. The Cowboys went right into the teeth of the schedule early on, and they really didn't know what they were doing with these young players. They didn't know what they were doing. They were not prepared. And it was blatantly evident in the early part of the season. But now they've come into the easy part of the schedule, and they got players back from injuries, and they started figuring out some things to do better. But understand, take that with a grain of salt, because I explained this already on X and people don't like it, but you can get mad all you want to, but it's the truth. We keep measuring ourselves against the sorry teams, but when we play the good teams, you don't hear us talking about anything other than either we got cheated or whatever the case may be, but we're not talking the same when we're beating these sorry teams. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. I'll make sure we do that. Jared, remind me after we kind of get towards the middle here. But we're going to talk about, for sure today, the Cowboys preview. We're going to look at, again, the Cowboys playoff chances, because there are people who are still talking about this, including Micah Parsons. Micah in the news. And then we're going to see if we can listen to Jerry and Steven talk about Micah Parsons and why I'm telling y'all, and people are not understanding why they're running around applauding Micah Parsons, talking about he's a leader. No, he's showing he's not a leader. He's showing actually he's not a leader. And when Jerry and Stephen Jones start singing your praises, and I'm going to let you hear what they say, you'll see exactly what I'm saying. You will see exactly what I'm saying. So, let's get into the storylines. This is a storyline people need to understand. Baker Mayfield on the big stage. I'm telling y'all, and we were talking about this yesterday, someone said that Baker Mayfield showed up on the injury report. I'm going to show you the injury report, because I said it yesterday. People do not understand. This dude, Baker Mayfield, he's not the most athletic guy. He's not even, looking at him, he's not much to look at. You might even look at him and underestimate him. And it's all of those things that make this dude who he is. Baker Mayfield is a dog. I'm telling y'all, this dude is a dog. He will play hurt. He's going to come out there and he is going to grind it out. He's going to leave it on the field. I like Baker Mayfield. I like Baker Mayfield from the beginning. Very cocky dude, very cocky. It's a part of his personality. And I'm telling you, I knew Baker Mayfield was not going to miss this game. This is the big stage. Baker Mayfield, y'all, we may not realize it, but Baker Mayfield is still playing for respect. He's resurrected his career, but he's still playing for respect. He's still playing for the big contract. He's still playing for validation. He wants everybody to understand he belongs. Storyline in this game, Baker Mayfield on the big stage. Man, I'm telling you, it is going to be exciting over here in Dallas this Sunday night. Number 2, I'm telling y'all something, and I'm going to get into this when I talk about Micah Parsons. See, there is a part of this Dallas Cowboy fan base that is delusional when it comes to Micah Parsons. Absolutely delusional. They will not admit what Micah Parsons truly is. They will not admit it. But we need to understand, I already understand what Micah Parsons truly is. But it's amazing that other people are speaking out about Micah Parsons. And the reason why this is a storyline, because can Micah have a big game against a good team? I'm telling y'all, this team has been doing it this year. I talked about it to somebody on X. This team is only having big games, and let's stop calling them big games. They're only having good games against bad teams. We're not having good games against good teams. We're not. And every time we poke our chest out, it's always about when we beat the bad teams. It's never when we lose to the good teams. When we lose to the good teams, there's always something else. But when we talk about Micah Parsons, what is he going to show up in the big games? He doesn't show up down the stretch. He doesn't show up down the stretch. I can show you year after year, Micah Parsons, he falls off at the end of the seasons. And people have talked about it, except for the fanatical Dallas Cowboy fans who keep trying to make him into a leader. He's not a leader. He's a great player. He's not a leader. He's not a leader. And we got to stop trying to give that to him. What's going on, Philly D, Troy, Willie T, what's going on? Storyline. Can Micah have a big game? Can he have a big game against a good team? Can he have a big game against a good team? Third storyline I want to see. Will Mike stick with the run? Will Mike McCarthy stick with the run? Because I can tell you what Tampa Bay is about to do. Because now we're finally, again, meeting a team who can do it. Y'all think we've seen something with some of these defenses playing the Cowboys? I'm telling y'all, you haven't seen anything. D-Rock 88, what's going on? D-Block 88, what's going on? Will Mike stick with the run? Because I'm telling y'all, this Tampa Bay defense is different. Todd Bowles is a different type of coach. This defense right here, they're going to be determined to make Cooper Rush beat us. Tampa Bay will be determined. Kirby Allen, what's going on? They're going to be determined. And I'm telling you what they're going to do. They'll double CD. They'll take their chances with everybody else one-on-one, and they're going to stop the run. They're going to stop the run because they can do it. They're going to stop the run. I don't know if they're going to stop the run, but their attempt will be to stop the run because they're going to say, we're going to make Cooper Rush beat us. We're going to make Cooper Rush beat us. That's what they're going to do. Because when you start talking about teams and all of these things, when you start talking about teams and you boil it down, and let's say both of y'all got a good defense, both of y'all got a good running game. So then it starts coming down to player by player battles. I said it against the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to ask the same question again. So if it comes down to these two quarterbacks, do you take Baker Mayfield or do you take Cooper Rush? And that's exactly what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to try to boil this down to. What's going on, Roderick? Marlon Brando. What is going on, man? I'm going to show you. See, you're going to learn about me, Marlon Brando. I don't say things unless I've heard them. See, you might not realize it, Marlon Brando, but what they're reporting about what Micah Parsons said, I'm not taking any credit for this. I mean, this stuff they're talking about with Micah Parsons is actually a week old. It's a week and a half old, I believe. I posted a video about this. I think it's now been 2 weeks. This is old. I made a video about this. And people are just now catching on to this Micah Parsons conversation. They're late. You're obviously late too, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but you're obviously late too. Because what I said that Micah Parsons said is what he said, and they're even reporting it on X. He's saying that he's taking less money because he wants Jerry to play in free agency. He wants to keep the guys who are around him. Marlon Brando, do you realize that a lot of guys around Micah Parsons right now are going to be free agents? So they're going to have to play in free agency, either by re-signing their players, letting go of players, and hopefully bringing in some players. But Micah's already said he's predicting that Jerry Jones is going to do something big in free agency. So now, I was actually saying that before Micah Parsons. Freddie will attest when he asked me, why do I think the Cowboys are going to go win the chip in 2026? Because I got a feeling that Jerry Jones is going to do something in 2025 that he has not done. And now that I'm realizing that they're doing the Netflix special in 2025, it's not going to surprise me what this team is going to be doing for the cameras. It's not going to surprise me what Jerry Jones is going to do for the cameras. It is going to be crazy. But the issue is, will Mike stick with the run? Because they're going to try to run him out of it. And then finally, this is the most balanced team the Cowboys have faced in this run, maybe minus the Eagles. Maybe minus the Eagles. But they may be even more balanced than the Eagles because if I'm not mistaken, this team beat the Eagles earlier in the season. And so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're on a 4-game win streak. They are a really good team. So let's go to the injury report. And I'm going to go to the larger one. Ignore these last two. Hold on a second. These two things actually shouldn't be on here. They should not be on here. But I was actually surprised by these two names right here. Jalen Brooks is out for the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. Now, this is the part or the story that I really found to be ironic. Micah Parsons has not practiced the last couple of days, and they're saying that he has a flu bug of some sort. I thought that was very interesting. Right when they get ready to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is the very game that I wanted to see Micah Parsons in, the very game I wanted to see him in, because We need to see Micah in these big games. I mean, he keeps talking all the time, especially when he has a really good game. And notice, he keeps having the really good games against the sorry teams. I don't remember Micah talking during the Philly game, the Houston game, the Cincinnati game, where he got goose eggs. But I can remember clearly the New York Giants game. I can remember clearly the Carolina Panthers game. I can remember clearly, and we won't call the Washington Commanders sorry. We will give the Cowboys credit for that win, but we have to understand that game, the score does not tell the whole story. That game was like watching paint dry. I mean, they literally scored the majority of the points in the fourth quarter. And I would have loved to see what would have happened. What would Cooper Rush what would he have done had the Washington Commanders made that extra point and it'd have been 27-27? I would have loved to see that because we would have finally got a game. But the game was pretty much, it was a divisional game. These divisional games are weird. I think the Cowboys were extra motivated. I was actually a little bit surprised how motivated they were to beat the Washington Commanders. And we'll talk about this a little bit later on, but I think they're going to beat the Washington Commanders the second time also for a reason. But the injury report, I was very surprised about the Micah Parsons news because if he doesn't play well, well, now everybody will just say he had the flu. Just that'll be the excuse. He had the flu, or he was recovering from the flu. But the reality is, I don't care if he wasn't recovering or didn't have the flu. No, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tackles were going to give Micah Parsons all he could handle because they're bigger and skilled. They were going to give him all that he could handle, and they're still going to give him all that he can handle if he plays in the game, which, according to Stephen Jones, and this is why I say these Cowboys really need to be questioned, because you can hear how they, Jerry and Stephen, they're always trying to insinuate, or it's like they use the public to put pressure on their players. Yeah, but I'm sure Micah gonna make it. Okay, I mean, can you wait and see how he feels? But Micah Parsons is questionable. Let's look at the rest of the injury report. Jalen Brooks is out. Bass limited, BB full. So we know Brooks is out now. Of course, Diggs, we know he's out. Rico Dowdle, they said knee, he's playing. Edoga playing. Hooker playing. Kendricks did not practice. I'm telling y'all this. I'm not sure if he practiced today, but I'm telling y'all this. This defense, a lot of folk don't realize the reason why this defense actually looked so bad during a certain stretch was not because Micah Parsons was out. It was because of Eric Kendricks being out. Eric Kendricks is the Cowboys' middle linebacker. And if you've noticed, since he's been back, he's been playing really well. So now he's shown up on the injury report. I'm sorry, let me put that on the screen. He's shown up on the injury report. Did not practice. So I'm interested to know, did he practice today? Because they can't do this without Eric Kendricks. He's literally the quarterback of the defense. They cannot do it without Eric Kendricks. CeeDee Lamb is playing shoulder, but he's still playing. CeeDee Lamb is about to get another 1,000-yard season, so he's going to be playing. Jordan Lewis is limited. Hadn't heard he's out. I'm sure he's playing. Mozzie Smith, limited. Tyler Smith, Wanye Thomas, Vigil, did not practice. Probably won't play, but we'll see. Donovan Wilson, limited. Practice full Thursday. So the two big injuries for the Cowboys are Jalen Brooks and the news of Micah Parsons with the flu. Okay. Very interesting to me. Very interesting. And so for me, I'm not really familiar with a lot of these players on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I think noteworthy from what my understanding is, it looks like Mike Edwards. I think that's one of the players people were talking about. Edwards is going to play. Mike Evans wasn't going to miss it. It looks like everyone is pretty much a go unless I hear something else. And if I do, I'll update tomorrow. But the big deal, because I'm laughing, this is how people look at the Cowboys. Even our own beat writers, and we don't understand, even our own beat writers and what they're writing is telling you everything you need to know about this team. They're saying things like the Cowboys have a chance to win because Baker Mayfield may not be playing, only to find out Baker Mayfield's playing. So we need Baker Mayfield not to play. Is that what we need? I just think sometimes we're not realizing we're saying so many things about this team that we get so delusional in our own thoughts that we're not being honest with ourselves of what this team is. I'm honest with what this team is. This team isn't good. We have some good players on this team. We got some promising players on this team. We're not good. We're better than bad, but we're not good. We can beat bad teams, but we're not good. We could even hang in to a certain degree, but we're not quite good. We're not good because, one, we don't have our entire team. We're not good yet because I'm still watching this team struggle to be a team. We got players, but they're not team. They're not a team yet. How do we get this team? How do we get this team to gel and truly be a team? How do we do it? That's the part we're going to have to work on. And so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the reality is that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are better than us. I mean, they are. They're better than a lot of teams. They are a good team. Tampa Bay is really a good team, and they have been on a 4-game win streak, and I am telling us it is going to be a big deal. Let me go back and read some comments. I want to see something here Willie T is saying to me. Let me kind of go back up. Let me start out with D Block 88. He said that Tampa D is crazy. Todd Bowles is going to go crazy. I'm with you, D Block. I just don't think people understand how good Tampa Bay really is. Now, I'm going to give Mike Zimmer. I've been giving Mike Zimmer credit all year. Zimmer has been a magician all year. He's been a magician. He is the one coach that I would not be opposed to coming back. Zimmer has been an absolute beast. He's done more with less. He's told the truth. He's adjusted every week. And no matter who's been in the lineup, Zimmer's defense has been consistently better. Now, there is a knock on Zimmer's defense, though. And I said this before. They started asking Zimmer to stop the run. Zimmer started stopping the run. The problem is what has betrayed Mike Zimmer and this defense is their secondary play. The secondary play is unequivocally the thing that has been really doing them in. They even with DeRon Bland. Chase caught on DeRon Bland. Chase is a different type of receiver, so I'm not even dogging on DeRon Bland. I told y'all before, whether you realize it or not, when you get a cornerback like DeRon Bland, he's going to get burnt from time to time because he's going to take chances. I'm fine with that. Because he's good enough to where he will win some of those battles too. Now, we didn't get a chance to see it this season. We'll see if we get a chance to see it next season. But DeRon Bland has shown a propensity of, hey, you know what? I'll take a few chances, but I'll also win when I take some of those chances. High risk, high reward. And the reality is that's not how Zimmer necessarily coaches. And so they're all kind of adjusting. But what has really done him in has been the passing game. And now we're up against a team that can actually pass the ball. Johnny says we better stop winning. You know what? I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we're going to have any control over it this time because we've been trying to win, but with these three next teams, and depending upon what happens with the Commanders, I think we're going to have a hard time beating the Bucs. I don't think we beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And we'll look at the Commanders, and I'll show you again. I talked about it already, why I think we're probably going to beat the Commanders the last game. Philly D, he says, Marlon came after me, and next comment is about that. Let me see. Willie, did Rush just throw for TD? You know, Marlon, and I understand what you're saying, because I said already that I think that he had a good game. But contextually about Cooper Rush, we have to stop saying just because a backup quarterback throws 3 touchdowns, it's not the first time it happened. It's not going to be the last time it happened. What Cooper Rush and what he's doing is not record-breaking. It's not eye-opening. It's none of these things. And the problem that I have with this fan base is that we won't look at what's happening contextually, and then we'll start giving Cooper Rush all of this credit. Stop it. No. Cooper Rush is what he is. He's a backup. We don't have to make him better than he is to say he's a backup. And he can beat bad teams. But if you look at his record against good teams, he's not good. He's not good against good teams. And that's the facts. And the Carolina Panthers, and I don't think the Cowboys should even, I don't understand the fans. Maybe I just look at the games different because I'm in evaluation mode. I'm not in this crazy delusional playoff thing that some of the fans are in. No, I'm in what are we looking like, because who are we going to keep on this team next year? Who are we going to re-sign? We have so many players that are going to be, that they will have to be re-signed. And even though the Cowboys will probably flip a switch, they'll get about $120 million under the cap, but they still have a lot of players they have a lot of holes to fill. They have a lot of players to sign. They're going to have to decide if they're going to sign these players. I mean, there are a lot of decisions to be made. And some of the decisions, knowing the Dallas Cowboys, I'm telling you, get ready. The Dallas Cowboys are going to break some of the fans' hearts. Because I will not be surprised if the Cowboys do not sign. They do not sign some of the players that this team is in love with. And I don't know, some of them may not be in love with them. But they're not going to sign some of these players. So we better get ready. Roderick says, my predictions, I think the Cowboys will give up at least 24 points. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that there towards the end, Rod. I'm sorry, Carolina just wasn't good. Cooper will have all the underneath passes. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that in just a moment, D-Block. Marlon says, why can't you all just enjoy the rest of the season and not hate on the backup? It's weird. No, I'm enjoying the rest of the season. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm enjoying it. I'm just not going to agree with you. Cooper Rush is not good. And it's not weird. What's weird is people saying he's better than the starter. That's what's weird. What's weird is people thinking the Cowboys were going to go on a 7-0 run. So you call that normal, Marlon Brando? You call it normal that this team was going to go on a magical carpet ride and went out? Come on, man. Come on. No, that's weird, bro. That's weird. Thankfully, there are people out there with sense like Mike Fisher, who was absolutely laughing at this. It was laughable, delusional. And it is. For anyone to say that it's not delusional, I don't know what to tell you. You might not know the definition of delusional. Even in the wins, this team is not riding Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is riding the defense, the special teams, now the running game. And guess what? Cooper Rush will tell you the same thing because he said it in his interview. He's not the reason why they're winning. He's admitting it. He knows it. The problem is the delusional apologists for Cooper Rush. You want to talk about weird, Marlon Brando? That's weird. That's weird. To expect a quarterback. It's amazing to me you're talking about his 3 touchdowns. Do you ever talk about the fact that he's typically only good for 1 or 2 touchdowns? Are you talking about the fact that this team only averages 20 points per game with Cooper Rush as the starter and last week was an anomaly? That's weird. Not admitting who a person is. He's the backup. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Johnny Jackson says Baker all day. I think that's what you mean, right? Cowboys make headlines. You know that all the time. All the time, Johnny, and it's aggravating to say the least. Marlon Brando, no one is hating on the young brother. He's an elite backup, but as a starter, he's yikes. Wow, Jared, don't give you credit. You call him an elite backup? I can't give him an elite backup. Willie T said, gee, you missing another problem. If Amani is playing opposite of Bland, Evans is going the ball. Yeah, we're going to get into that in a moment, Willie T, because I'm going to tell you, I guarantee you what the Bucs are going to do. The Cowboys typically do not let their cornerbacks travel, which is absolutely dumb. We'll see what Mike Zimmer does this time. But if I'm the Buccaneers, I'll identify where Bland is lined up. I'll just line Mike Evans up opposite of him. I'll make the Cowboys get in the chase mode. I'll make them get in the chase mode. Because once I get in the chase mode, I think my backup, my second and third wide receivers can beat anybody other than Bland. This is a terrible matchup, but it's a matchup that I want to see. Because I want to see what everyone is on this team. I'm in evaluation mode. I'm absolutely going to enjoy this game. Philly D said, y'all need to build that old line. Overshawn felt bad, but he will bounce back. I dislike Dallas, but I respect players in the NFC East. Yeah, you know, I think Philly D, I'm thinking a lot of people saying that, you know, we got our line settled, but I don't think we do. I do think we have pieces, but this is a great opportunity. See, it's a team like the Bucs. It's not the Panthers that you need to be evaluating against. It's the Bucs who you need to be evaluating against. And unfortunately, we got a couple of the players who we really need to evaluate, like Awesome. I mean, we can't evaluate all of them, but what we have right now, this is the type of team that you want to evaluate your team against. I mean, you don't want to evaluate your team necessarily. I mean, every team can be, every game can be an evaluation, but you don't want to evaluate your team based on the worst team in the league. You're going to look different against the worst team in the league. Because you know, if you know you got some good players, average players even, your average players will be better than bad players. So to evaluate yourself against the Panthers is different than evaluating yourself against the Cincinnati Bengals. Because we played a sorry defense against the Bengals. We only managed 20. Carolina Panthers, 4 turnovers didn't help them either. They didn't help their defense out any. But it's better to evaluate your team against a team like the Cincinnati Bengals than it is to evaluate your team against the Panthers. And so for the Bucs, I'm really good. I'm really glad that we're playing the Bucs this week. Gary said, I will take it on my Cowboys defense. Yeah, we're going to get to see what that defense really is this week. We are going to get to see what they really are. The problem is some people believe that the backup quarterback is better than Dak. Ludicrous. Only in Dallas. Only in Dallas people do stuff like this. Philly D says, now you tripping now, beating the Eagles. Oh, no. Did I make a mistake? We're not beating the Eagles. I said we're not beating the Eagles. We're not beating the Bucs or the Eagles. I don't believe we are. We're not beating the Bucs or the Eagles unless you're talking about somebody in the chat. I don't think we're beating the Bucs or the Eagles. No way. Marlon says nobody believes Rush is better than Dak. What? Marlon, stop this now. Marlon, come on now, man. Marlon, you come on, Marlon. You telling me you ain't even seen people in this chat talking about Cooper Rush better than Dak Prescott? Come on, Marlon Brando. You said nobody believes that. Well, I don't know who you calling nobody. That must be their name because there's a whole bunch of nobodies out there. You ain't been on X. Man, the Cooper Rush apologists are crazy. Crazy. Now, you said nobody. Now, I guess the nobody is the they again. They would have rather had Rush. But see, they don't get to determine that. And thankfully, I'm telling you, there are a lot of people in this fan base. I'm glad they don't get to determine stuff. Because a lot of them are literally delusional. No, they don't get to determine anything. Just like I don't. I can talk about it. I don't get to determine anything. At the end of the day, it's the Cowboys, the front office. Marlon, fact is, no starting quarterback will be making $6 million if not on a rookie contract. yeah, man, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. Nobody can honestly say Dak is 10 times better than Rush. I can. You can call me delusional all you want to. There are 231 million reasons why Dak Prescott is better than Cooper Rush. The market said Dak Prescott is 10 times better than Cooper Rush. See, Marlon, you got to understand, I keep trying to help people. You have to understand football business. This is a business. And when you understand business, you understand supply and demand, bro. You can't get $231 million in this league unless there is a demand for you, man. This is a football business, period. You don't get paid $5 million, bro, over 2 years unless there's no demand for you. You don't get to hit the free agency market 3 times in your career. You're 31 years old. You're a career backup. You don't hit the free agency market 3 times, and no team gives you a chance even after seeing you. No, the market is saying, and it's not just Dak Prescott. Bro, the market said Gardner Minshew is better than Cooper Rush. This ain't about Dak. The market said O'Donnell for the Raiders is better than Cooper Rush. The market said Sam Darnold is better than Cooper Rush. Marlon, you come on, man. You got to understand business better than this, man. This is a football business, man. It's about supply and demand. Is there a demand for your services? You don't get paid in this league because of your name. You don't get paid in this league because people like you. You don't even get paid in this league if people dislike you. It's not about that. Folk want to win. And what they're looking at is who gives us the best chance to win. Your demand. What people say about you on scouting reports. I'm laughing. You just said Dak Prescott is 10 times better. What is he? 9 times? 10 times? 8, 7, 6? How many times is he better than Cooper Rush? I can tell you this. The market said he is. The market said Gardner Minshew. This ain't even about that. The market said Sam Darnold is. The Minnesota Vikings didn't come knocking on the Cowboys' door. Hey, Dallas. Our starting quarterback got injured. How about we give you a 3rd-round draft pick for Cooper Rush? Make it make sense, Marlon Brando. Make it make sense. That's all I'm telling you. You make your statements make sense. Troy Daly, I'll tell you this. If Dak Prescott is peaked, I'm satisfied. If peaking is second team All-Pro, MVP runner-up, and what Dak put up last year, I'm satisfied because there are many quarterbacks who win Super Bowls that never reach that. They never reach what Dak Prescott has reached. 3 12-win seasons in a row. Highest winning percentage of all quarterbacks other than Patrick Mahomes. If you call that peaking, I'll take it. I'll take it every day of the week because there's no rookie that guarantees you he's going to do that. There's no free agent that guarantees you he's going to come in and do that. Man, I laugh at folk when folks talking about somebody peaked. And you're talking about that's a peak? I'll take it every day of the week. I'll take it every day of the week. Man, let me tell you something. In this league, you consider yourself blessed if you can get a quarterback that has peaked at the level of Dak Prescott. And there's a reason why. This is why I say people don't understand business, supply and demand. There was a demand. That's why Jerry signed Dak Prescott. There was a demand. Adam Schefter reported it. Ian Rappaport reported it. Even Troy Aikman said it. There was a demand for Dak Prescott in this league. There were teams chomping at the bits. They were ready to get Dak Prescott, but they were not ready to get Cooper Rush. Dak was going to get his money. Dak was going to get his money. Dallas should be worried about his mobility. Dak is not a pure pocket passer. Yeah, Philly D, I don't think they're going to worry about his mobility. I think what the Dallas Cowboys are going to do, they're going to follow suit in what everyone else is doing, and they're going to get him a running game because everybody's doing it. Patrick Mahomes now has a running game, and the Kansas City Chiefs better start thinking sooner than later. Patrick Mahomes is a big part of their running game. They might need to alleviate those duties from him. That's a lot of wear and tear. Patrick is a very smart runner, but they better be careful. You keep on letting him run, and the more chances he gets to run, the more chances it is of getting hurt. Patrick Mahomes is just like anybody else. They're going to get him a running game. Yeah, Dak's going to have to get a running game. Lewis said, just how is Dak to win against very good teams with one wide receiver, no running back? You can't. That's why other teams are doing this all different. All these teams are doing this different except for Dallas. And I'm going to talk about this thing with Micah Parsons and why I'm so perturbed at what he's doing. All of these teams are doing this except for Jerry Jones. Why can't him and Stephen Jones figure out how to manage the cap? You got a player that has to say, well, I got to take leave money on the table for us to get players. Hogwash, silliness. D-Block said Kendrick is a bit slow, but he's okay. Yeah, but you know, the thing that helps him out, D-Block, because I agree with you, he's not an elite linebacker. He's not an elite linebacker. But what I give him credit for is that he knows Zimmer's system. And so Kendricks knows how to make sure everyone's lined up right. Knows how to make sure everyone knows their assignments. He knows his assignment. And what you can do is when you know your assignment, you can make up for what you lack in speed and quickness. Yeah, I don't think he's an elite linebacker by far. Nah, I don't agree with you, Marlon. I don't think their receivers are capable. They disappear against good teams. They're terrible. And we can't be saying that. They're not good. They're not good, bro. Last year, there was not one receiver they had in the top 100 other than CeeDee Lamb. Now, you're arguing against everything that the tape and the stats show. This is the very argument that even Troy Aikman was making this year. They can't get separation. There's a reason why Dak Prescott led the league in tight window throws. Do you know that's attributed to the fact that your receivers can't get separation? No, bro. I understand you don't have to do the profanity or anything. I mean, you can make your point. I'll take it. But no, these wide receivers are not good. Jalen Tolbert has been nothing but a disappointment. Jalen Brooks has been nothing but a disappointment. Brandon Cooks, ever since he's been here, look at his stats. He does not fit this type of offense. His seasons with the Cowboys pale in comparison with what he's done everywhere else. Brandon Cooks doesn't fit this He doesn't fit this offense. We don't know what Ryan Flanoy is going to be. This is the very reason why they got Jonathan Mingo, and the Cowboys need to do themselves a favor. They need to go in the draft and get a wide receiver. End of story. They need to go in there and get a wide receiver. Now, Rico Dowdle, I've been a Rico Dowdle advocate from the beginning. But, Rico Dowdle has proven to me he can be the 2 in the 1-2 punch, depending on how you want your run game to be. He can be the 1 of the 2. I would prefer him to maybe be the 2 because he's yet to show us. Now, the next phase we haven't seen, he can grind it out for you. But what I'm looking for, if I'm a team, I'm looking for, can I get someone close to Saquon Barkley? Because in order to win with a running back, you need explosive runs. And what I mean by explosive, I'm not talking about 20 and 25. I'm talking about, can you take it to the crib, 50 yards? Can you give me a 50 piece every now and then? Can you give me a 60 piece every now and then? Doggone it. Can you give me can you really be off the chain? Can you give me a 70 yarder? Can you give me an 80 yarder? Man, doggone it, man, if we just break this thing wide open and they call the wrong defense and we get everybody on the offensive line and it's just you and the safety, can you take it 90 to the crib? Because you win championships with running backs like that. See, I'm very interested this week. I'm in evaluation mode on Rico Dowdle because I've been bragging on him all year long, and I'm not going to stop bragging on him. They could have been running with this man because one thing Rico can do, while he's not explosive, like boom, boom, he runs hard, he runs angry, and he can, if you want to do 15-yard drives, Rico can grind it out. Now, we got to see him do more in the red zone. We need to see him do more in the red zone. He's got 1 touchdown, and the one time we did see him against Pittsburgh, he wound up fumbling trying to do goal line offense. So, to me, Rico has shown he can be the 2 and the 1. I mean, in a 1-2 punch. But for me, I don't know how y'all look at it, but I want me a doggone explosive running back. I want a guy who, hey, man, home run hitter. Home run hitter. Defense mess around and do the wrong thing, and it's him and the safeties and a cornerback. Bye-bye. To the crib. That's the part he hasn't shown us yet. I want to see, can he do it? I want to see, can he do it? Butcher the Baker will definitely play. Yep, they said it on the injury report. I saw it. Only great playmaker on offense is Lamb, no doubt. No doubt, Philly D. There's no discussion on it. He is the playmaker. Now, Rico Dowdle, though, is so important because he is the guy who controls the tempo. He's the guy that's going to enable you to get the play action. Love Rico. Love what he's doing. But I want to see, is he capable of taking it to the crib? Because if he's not that type of running back, then we got to get us another running back. Because we need an explosive running back. Because if you get a guy who is not explosive, he's easier to stop against the good teams. Lewis said when we lost with a good defense, that's when the defense let us down. Dak is not the only reason. Oh, man, they was terrible in the Green Bay game. Straight up. They were. Put Lamar Jackson on the team or Josh. No, they wouldn't. No. Lies. Because in actuality, Josh Allen was terrible before even Stephon Diggs came. No one was talking about him until he got players. Josh Allen was not good. Lies. And lies again. You know why I know it's a lie? Because if they could win with what we have, then they wouldn't have went and got Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Lies. No. Lamar Jackson couldn't win with this team. No. And I'm not saying he couldn't win, but he couldn't do any more than Dak has done. How do I know? Because Lamar Jackson actually hasn't done any more than Dak has done. Other than win 2 MVPs, what has he done that Dak hasn't done? And I'm talking about wins in this league. Lamar hasn't won more than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has actually won more than Lamar Jackson. Go look it up. Can't do it for you. Kirby says, can Dallas go to the playoffs? No. No. Marlon says, I agree. Those players are better than Dak Prescott. Everyone knows that. And I'll tell you the truth. Now, I would say, I think they're better than Dak Prescott. And let's really contextualize better than. Lamar Jackson, I've already made this argument before. When you're talking about better than, you're talking about talent. But the problem is with Lamar Jackson, and it's been proven, but if you take away his running, he's less than average as a quarterback. That's why they keep losing in the playoffs. Because what teams typically do, they put in an extra defensive back, they spy him out, they take away the run, and they say, no, you're going to beat us throwing. And Lamar Jackson, just like any of these other quarterbacks, can make some great throws. I love the way he throws the ball, but time to time, he will make some of the bonehead throws. And playoff games under Lamar Jackson has been different than playoff losses with other teams. Lamar Jackson has literally lost games to where he literally threw the interception that ended the game. Ended it. There's nothing else to say. It ended the game. So you don't get a lot of those types of instances. Troy says, let me skip down to Troy. He says Hurts has it easy. He may have it easy, but you know what? I'm gonna get this dude. I'm telling you, man, people keep disrespecting this dude, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. And he's a great quarterback in the system that he's in. Every quarterback, Tom Brady has even acknowledged this. Every quarterback, Cam Newton has acknowledged it too. Every quarterback is a system quarterback. You get a quarterback the right system, they'll be great in it. They'll be good. I can't say great. Not all will be good. Some will be good, but the good ones will be great. The good ones will be great. Hurts has been great this season. There's just no getting around it. Hurts been, man, people don't understand how hard it is to get 12 wins in this league. And our problem is we've been spoiled by how it's supposed to look when you win. Cool. I like Jalen Hurts for this reason. He can beat you all kinds of different ways. He can beat you all kinds of ways. Now, my favorite quarterback, Dak Prescott, he can't beat you all different kinds of ways no more. Dak now beats you with his arm and his mind. Dak is cerebral. They all know it. Dak beats you with his mind and his arm. We're going to see what he looks like when he comes back from injury. Because Dak used to be able to beat you with his arm and his legs. Now he's beating you with his arm and his mind. You start talking about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts can beat you with his arm and his legs. His arms and his legs. And I don't really think he's yet there cerebral. I think he's got another couple of years because that takes time for quarterbacks to get there. You don't become cerebral overnight. That takes time. People don't understand why Tom Brady was cerebral. Come on, man. You play as long as he played. You don't have no choice but to be cerebral. What can anybody show you? You've seen it all after about 10 years. Dak Prescott is approaching that number to where he's to the point to where there's nothing you can show him new. Because Dak even said it this year. He's been frustrated because he's seeing the field better than he's ever had before. But it didn't translate onto the field. Of course it didn't, Dak Prescott. One, you were forcing the ball to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott were not on the same page early in the season. Number two, your line was terrible and you were not running the doggone football. All of these things contribute. They did not run, for whatever reason, the same system that they ran last year. They were not running the Texas coast. For whatever reason, this dude, Mike McCarthy, reverted to the West Coast offense, which is absolutely crazy. But again, I'm saying, man, got to give Jalen Hurts credit, bro. Jalen Hurts has really been playing good. He has. And Jalen Hurts is loaded. Jalen Hurts is loaded. Who are all the weapons that Lamar and Josh have? Please tell me. Now, and I'm not going to go back and forth all night. Me and you might need to have a conference call. First of all, let's understand something. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen themselves are the weapons because they have something that Dak Prescott no longer has. The legs. The legs. So that's a weapon in itself. And then when you look at the running backs that both of them have, they are absolute weapons. They are. Let's stop acting like that they don't have good running backs. Let's not act like they don't have good offensive lines. Let's not act like they don't have offensive lines. Let's not act like they don't have defensive lines. Let's not act like they don't have offenses and defenses. And what did they do for Josh Allen? They went and got him Amari Cooper. They went and got him Amari Cooper. And don't act like Flowers is not a weapon for Lamar Jackson. Don't act like the tight ends that Lamar Jackson literally has a tight end over there. I forgot his name. Lamar Jackson literally has a tight end over there that it ain't even fair. Dude plays like a wide receiver. No, Lamar Jackson has weapons. Weapons. Complete team. Josh Allen. Complete team. I forget the other wide receiver that he has, but he's good too. He has a complete team. His defense is good. The Cowboys don't have any of that stuff. I'm telling you, man, we get blinded by the science. This Cowboys defense is not good. And it wasn't as good as we thought it was last year. We were doing the same thing, and this is one of the main reasons why I want Mike McCarthy gone. Because Mike McCarthy, while he's accumulated 12 win seasons, 3 seasons in a row, some of that is fool's gold. Because we beat bad teams, we put a lot of stats up on bad teams, but then when we get to the good teams, and this all can't be put on Mike McCarthy, but we have fallen short against some good teams. Defensively, sometimes. Offensively, sometimes. Sometimes they got us because we only had one wide receiver. Sometimes they got us because we didn't have the correct guys on defense. We're not winning against good teams, and it's a trend under Mike McCarthy. What's going on, KC? He says Russell's a decent backup for sure. Exactly, I'll give you that. But while we were quick to praise him for a 3 TD game, he also had a 45-yard passing game. He is somewhere in between, and I'd venture to say it's close to the 45 game. I'm with you. Because the film shows it. The stats show it. It shows it. There's nothing that goes against it. No cap. What's going on? Next year, brother, the Niners and the Cowboys have cupcake schedules. That's a good thing so they can get back on track. Hey, you know what? But your 49ers not out of it either. Your 49ers not out of it. I mean, we going to see it's going to be a race to the finish, but they're not out of it. But I don't think it's going to be a race to the finish. I think the Commanders will get that 10th win. Then I'm going to go back to our preview game. Philly D said our defense was god-awful last year. Not here making excuses, but it was horrific. Okay, now you talking about Philly's defense or Dallas's defense? D-Block 88 said the Joneses family will not change. Bargain basement shopping. And I'm mad because Micah Parsons is helping him do this silliness. I wish he wouldn't do what he's doing. Playmakers don't win Super Bowls. Trenches win Super Bowls and having great back seven on defense. Philly D, I said it before. 2 things travel well in the playoffs. Run game, defense. Run game, defense. I'll say something that you and I believe I'll tell you. You get an elite defense. I'm not talking about all right. I'm talking about an elite defense like those Baltimore Ravens defenses. Chicago Bears defense they had back in the day with Peyton. You get one of those defenses, they'll take Cooper Rush to the Super Bowl and win. They will. They'll take Cooper Rush to the Super Bowl and win. If you get an elite defense and an elite run game to where all this quarterback has to do is make 10 to 15 throws a game, they'll take him to the Super Bowl. You don't believe me? Ask Trent Dilfer. He'll tell you the same thing. Not sustainable. You're not going to build a dynasty like that, but you can get one. You can fit one in. You can fit one in. I'll get back to your comments in a moment. So, again, looking at the injury report, it looks like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to have Baker Mayfield. And so that's going to be a huge deal. So when we get to the offensive keys, I'm going to tell you what I think they need to do, and then we'll go and look at some team stats. So, doesn't change too much for me in Week 16 versus the Buccaneers. The Cowboys need to run the ball. They need to run Rico Dowdle 25 times minimum. If I'm the Cowboys, I really want to see what Rico Dowdle is. This is a game, if possible, I think this says something about his knee, but if possible, I might push Rico to 30 just to see what he can do. Because if you're considering signing him, you might want to see, can he handle a 30-carry game? 30-carry game. I would like to see Rico get it 25 times minimum. I'd like to see him get it 30. I would like to see Kevontae Turpin get the ball more than 2 or 3 times. Turpin is a defense buster. Turpin is a defense buster. Turpin is the type of player that you let play that loosens up a defense. He loosens up a defense for you. He really does. So I definitely want to see Turpin get more involved. We got a problem with Jonathan Mingo. Jonathan Mingo is not the type of wide receiver at this point that we can use with Cooper Rush, because Mingo is a down-the-field receiver. I just don't think that Cooper Rush can get it downfield to him. That's one of the problems. But I would still like them to find a way to get Jonathan Mingo involved. I'm wondering if Flournoy is going to be starting this week with Jalen Brooks out. But I'm sorry, this is the last 3 games. You're going to keep letting Cooper Rush play, then doggone it, can you figure out a way to get the ball to Mingo so we can at least see what he can do? The Cowboys have got to continue to stop the penalties. And I think the next thing they're going to have to work on is the red zone touchdowns, because they have not solved that. They have not solved the red zone issues. They're smart where they've been getting the ball in the end zone just right outside of it, but they have not been able to get in the red zone and score touchdowns. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to take them to the point of they're going to have to grind it out to get down there, and then they're going to have to score in the red zone. They're going to have to score in the red zone. And I don't know how they fix it, but hey, this week, this is a good opportunity. You get in the red zone, let Turpin do his thing. I mean, not Turpin, but let Rico Dowdle see can he get you something in the red zone. But I also don't understand why the Cowboys still are so reluctant to let Trey Lance do something in the red zone for him too. And I also think in order for them to beat the Buccaneers, they will actually have to have no turnovers. I think 1 will be detrimental, and if they do 2, it'll do them in. I also think the offensive keys will be to protect Cooper Rush. And the way they protect Cooper Rush is run the ball. Number 2, minimize his throwing. I really believe that this is a game where they're going to have to figure out a way for Cooper Rush to only throw the ball 20 times. 20 times. 25 to me will be too much in a game like this. 20 times. They need a heavy run game. A heavy run game. I think they'll probably let Zeke do some running too. So if you're going to let Rico run 25, I'd like to see Zeke run 15. 15, if not 10. Kevontae Turpin, 5, 10 times. They have got to run the ball against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers so that they can soften up that defense so that when Cooper Rush does take his shots, he gets some very good play action looks, men running wide open, Cooper Rush, one read, get it to him. They're going to have to minimize rush throwing. And then I got a question mark. Can they get Lance involved? Which I'm sure they will not. But I really think the Cowboys need to be using everything that they have. And I don't understand yet why they are not using Cooper Rush. Some people I'm not Cooper Rush, Trey Lance. And I keep hearing some people say that Trey Lance is just bad. That's why they're not using it. It's crazy to me that you waste a 4th-round draft pick on a guy that's just not good. I'm sorry. I just couldn't let a guy make more than my backup. I can't let a guy make more than my backup sit on the bench and not use him. That is just absolute insanity to me. I would have to be using Trey Lance. But I want to look at some of the stats on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am telling you, when you look at the stats on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it is absolutely mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing when you look at this team. Absolutely mind-blowing. Let's see here. Let me pull them up real quick. So let's look at a quick overview of these teams, and then we'll dig into some of the actual numbers, like the detailed numbers. When you look at this Tampa Bay offense and defense, it is absolutely astounding. I want you to look at this overview. This overview is bonkers. Offensive stat comparison. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 6.1 yards per play. Cowboys are 5. And we'll go back and look at the ranks after this. But I just want to show you how they compare. Points per play. 0.455. The Cowboys, 0.326. Rushing play percentage. We're about to run into a juggernaut. They run the ball. They run the ball 44% of the time, basically. 43.91%. Cowboys have increased as of late, 37.24. Pass play percentage, 56% to our 62. Some of that happened early on with some of those Houston Texans games, that Houston Texans game, and some of this also includes Dak Prescott. But their pass play percentage, 56%. Tampa Bay completion percentage, a whopping 71%. That's telling you their play action is working like crazy. Cowboys, 62%. Third down conversions, they are 48%. The Cowboys are 36%. Red zone scoring, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a whopping 65.45% red zone scoring. I watched this team early in the season against the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, I'm telling you, they gave them boys all they could handle. Their defensive stat comparison. Their offensive yards per play. They give up 5.6, the Cowboys 5.8. Opponents' points per play, 0.36, the Cowboys 0.44. Opponents' completion percentage, 66.86, Dallas 67.78. Opponents' third down conversions, 40%. The Cowboys 34%. Opponents' red zone scoring percent, 51%. The Cowboys 73%. So when you look at this team on both sides of the ball, this is literally one of the most balanced teams. The most balanced teams the Cowboys have seen all season long. Other than probably the Philadelphia Eagles. Other than the Philadelphia Eagles. let's kind of pull up what they look like. I'm telling you, man, this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, there's a reason why they've been on a 4-game win streak. I want you to look at their offensive rank. These numbers are crazy. They're bonkers. Points per game, 28.8. They're number 4. They're ranked number 4 in points per game. 388 yards per game. They're number 3. Points per play, they're number 5. Yards per play, they're number 6. Third down conversion, they're number 3. Fourth down conversion, they're number 6. Red zone scoring, they're number 6. Touchdowns per game, 3.4 a game. They're number 5. That's crazy. That is crazy how good this team is. There's a reason why they're on this 4-game winning streak. Look at this. Their rushing stats. They're number 15 rush play percentage. Number 2 yards per rush. 12 yards per rushes per game. Look at this. They're number 4 in rushing yards per game. They're going to run the rock on us. They're going to run the rock on us. And what they're going to do is they're going to run the rock, and then they're going to set up the play action. They're going to run the rock. Look at their passing statistics. They're number 18 in percentage, but they're number 2 in completion percentage. That's crazy. Yards per pass, 7.8. They're number 8. Passes per game, they're number 14. Pass yards per game. How do you do that? Number 4, and you're only at 14 on the passes per game? Number 4, interceptions thrown. Number 26. So he has turned it over. Quarterback sacked 18% of the time. They're number 18 in turnover margin, so they're kind of mid-pack, giveaways versus takeaways. They take the ball away. They're number 12. Interceptions thrown, they're number 26. This team, I'm telling you, look at their penalties. They're number 7, number 9, number 7, number 12. I mean, they are a well-coached team. They are a well-coached team. Their offensive rank is number 7. Their defensive rank is number 7. Can you get any more balanced than that? That is crazy work. Crazy work on their offensive side of the ball. Crazy work. Crazy work. You look at their defense. Their defense, opponents' points per game, they're number 19. Opponents' yards per game, they're number 27. Points per play, 16. Yards per play, 21. Third down conversion, 20. Fourth down conversion, 22. But look at this. Their red zone scoring, they're 10. Their opponents' TDs per game, they're 16. Seems to be a lot of bending and not breaking. Opponents' rush plays percent, 3. Rush yards a game, 22. 16 on the game. Opponents' rushes per game. Opponents' rush yards per game. This is where you see again, they tighten up. They're number 11. So they can stop the run, and their opponents' rush TDs per game, they're number 10. Their pass play percentage, they're number 30. Completion percentage, they're number 23. Yards per pass, they're number 17. Passes per game, 30. Passing yards per game, 30. Opponents' interception throw, number 27. Sacks percentage, they're number 19. Their defense, Their defense is still ranked, even in all of that value rank, they're number 7. They're balanced. They're very balanced. Cowboys are going to have a tough time with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are really going to have a tough time. Let me pull up the Cowboys real quick. And we have really improved over the last few weeks when you look at the bad teams. The problem is it's against the good teams that we're still having a lot of problems. When you look at the Dallas's offensive rank, Their points per game, they're number 20. Yards per game, 17. Points per play, 23. Yards per play, 25. Third downs, conversions, were 23. Fourth down, 31. Red zone scoring is terrible, 28. And this has been an Achilles heel for this team too, because with Cooper Rush, last week was an anomaly. This team has literally been averaging 2 touchdowns per game on offense since Cooper Rush has been the quarterback. They need more out of the offense. Rush play percentage has gotten better, but because of what Mike was doing early on, was still number 27. Yards per rush, 23. Rushes per game, 25. Rush yards per game, 27. I blame a lot of that on Mike because he wouldn't run the ball. Rushing TDs, number 32. We're not getting any touchdowns on the ground. Absolutely none. None. Passing statistics. Pass play percentage. We throw it 63% of the time. Completion percentage, 63%. That is, Rush has been at right about 60% in his stint, and I think Dak was a little bit higher than that, not much. Yards per pass, 6.3, number 27. And it would actually be lower than that. That's including Dak Prescott. People don't realize it, but Dak Prescott actually had a lot of yards. He was going down the field still. Passes per game, 38.5, number 2. Pass yards per game, number 12, 229. That includes Dak. Interception thrown percentage, that includes Dak and Cooper Rush. Quarterback sack percentage, number 12. Number 12. Turnover margin, we've turned that around over the last few weeks. Giveaways, number 28. Takeaways, number 11. So we've turned that around. Interception percentage is number 19. Penalties, number 28, 29, 20, and 2. Penalties per play. We still got work to do on that. Dallas's offensive value is 25. 25. Got a lot of work to do. Like I said, it's going to be a great game to evaluate the Cowboys. Opponents' points per game, still kind of high, 27.1. 356 yards per game. Opponents' points per play were number 30. Opponents' yards per play were number 31. Third down conversion percentage were number 3. Fourth down conversion percentage were number 25. Red zone were number 32. Opponents' touchdowns were number 29. And one of the issues with us here, there's some things contributing to the Cowboys' third down percentage because they look pretty good. They do get teams off the field, but the other problem is teams get big plays on us. They're not even making it to third downs on some of these. So it's some things that contributed to these things. But the Cowboys, Mike Zimmer has really improved this over the last few weeks. We gave up a lot of yards early. Couldn't stop the run. We're number 23 percentage, opponents rush play percentage, opponents rush yards, 4.8, number 29, opponent rushes per game, 28.5. That ranks us number 23. Opponents rush yards per game, 136. I am telling you, man, Tampa Bay going to run the ball. They're going to try to run the ball at least. Opponents rush TDs, 1.6. Opponents pass play percentage with number 11, but the completion percentage is 25. We give up a lot of big plays in the secondary. Opponents yards per pass, number 31. We give up a lot of big plays in the secondary. Opponents passes per game, 29. Teams drive on us through the air. Opponents pass yards per game, 219 with number 21. Opponents interception thrown percentage, number 5. Sack percentage, number 2. And so the Cowboys, their ranking overall, we are number 25. We really have to improve on our penalties, and we definitely need to continue to improve on our turnover margin. And so this is going to be a very tough game for our Dallas Cowboys. But I'm glad it's going to be a tough game because this is going to be a very good test for our Dallas Cowboys, because I get tired of every time we win a game against a sorry team, everybody starts running and bragging about this and bragging about that. And I'm like, come on, man, what are we doing? What are we doing? let's kind of let this thing all kind of play out, and then we can get a real good sense of who we are. And so let's kind of look at the Cowboys' defensive keys. Defensive keys to me are very simple for the Cowboys, and I'm gonna get to some comments. I got a super chat here I want to read. Defensive keys: stop the run. It's gonna be a very hard test for this Cowboys defense. Tampa Bay Bucks run the ball very well, but they got to stop the pass too. They pass the ball very well. I mean, they're very balanced all the way around. Mike Evans is going to be a problem. And the reason why Mike Evans is going to be a problem is because Mike Evans is a bigger receiver. He's a bigger receiver. So Baker don't mind throwing it up and letting him go up and get it. And anybody not named Deron Bland, Mike Evans is going to be a problem for. I also think the defensive keys, we always brag about this thing called quarterback pressures. I want people to stop bragging about this. Quarterback pressures do not equate into sacks. They're not equating into sacks. Quarterback pressures mean you put pressure on the quarterback, but you didn't get him. We saw how that worked against Joe Burrow. He ate a lot of the pressure that we put on him. No, you need to get sacks. You need to actually get the sacks. You actually need to get Baker Mayfield on the ground. Because even he, with a sore knee, Mayfield is going to try to be mobile on us. He'll try to get loose. You got to sack him. You got to sack him. And the Cowboys, once again, what helped them against the lowly Carolina Panthers is the Cowboys got turnovers. They got turnovers. And that helps them, no matter how you slice it, getting them shorter fields. That's going to help them tremendously. Special teams. Again, the teams are taking away the special teams of the Cowboys. Kevontae Turpin, they got to find a way to let him return. I got a feeling the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not going to let him do it. Brandon Aubrey, they're going to need you. 3 or 4 field goals. If you can get in field goal range some kind of way, man, you're going to have to take all the points that you can. Turpin, again, I keep saying he's going to have to continue to run the ball out of the end zone. And then before I give you my thoughts, let me read some comments here. What's going on, Azteca? What's going on, Azteca Aguilar? Andre, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Let me see here. Marlon says, it's no different. You said we're winning a Super Bowl with Dak when he currently has 2 playoff wins in 10 seasons. I'm saying we're going to win a Super Bowl with Dak because Dak Prescott has the talent to do it. Even without all of the things around him, Dak has the talent to do it. But Dak does need some more help because all the other quarterbacks are getting more help. They all are. People aren't trying to take Cooper Rushes to the Super Bowl because this Tampa Bay game is a prime example of what I'm talking about. You even answered your own question in this. Then I'm going to get to the super chat. Because when it boils down to a team saying we're going to make the quarterback beat us, we've seen where Dak has been able to beat teams when they say we're going to make the quarterback beat us, i.e. the Seattle Seahawks game. Okay, you said you wanted Dak to beat you. You got what you wanted. You went home with a loss. Take that L and go home. Cooper Rush isn't that quarterback. And that's okay. That's okay that he's not that quarterback because he's not your starting quarterback anyway. You don't want him to do that. So he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's a backup. But all these teams, none of these teams are doing this dumb stuff Dallas is doing. Talking about do more with less. This is dumb. Dumb. You're not hearing none of this stuff except from the Dallas fan base and the Dallas. It's dumb talk we do. It's crazy. Let me read this super chat here. Kitty Boy, what's going on? Appreciate that $1 super chat. Appreciate you joining in. And so let me pick back up here. I was about to read. Azteca says, I was asking Marlon Brando. Andre, Cowboys meant score points to win and stop the run. Yeah, what's going on? Happy holidays, man. D Block, bro, Cooper Rush or Gardner Minshew. Hey, I can tell you this, D Block. I told you earlier. The market spoke. the market spoke on Cooper Rush, man. People don't understand. The market speaks. The market speaks. Nobody has ever asked the Cowboys could they have Cooper Rush. Nobody. The market speaks. Revelation said Jerry has made his Dallas Cowboys to become a sideshow. Hey, man, you just wait until this Netflix thing come up. This Netflix thing is going to be crazy. You think it's been a circus? You just wait till this Netflix thing. Mike Evans is going to cook, says Dank 9000. No cap, calling the backup elite is an oxymoron. Yeah, I get it. But yeah, man. Philly D, Mike Evans, Hall of Fame wide receiver, but doesn't get the credit. Yeah, man. I agree with you, Philly D. Yeah, he Hall of Fame. I wish he could get. I mean, I don't know. You know, maybe Tampa Bay could go to a bowl game. It doesn't seem likely at this point, but we'll see. Who knows? They could get hot. But I would definitely like to see him get a bowl game. When you see a player that's been that good and that consistent, I'd love to see him get it. Can the playoffs go to the playoff this year? No, it's just not going to happen, and we'll look at that in just a moment. Willie said we need to get Izzy playing corner early in this game. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about this kid, Israel. O-line takes 3 years to mold and acquire chemistry. Yeah, Cowboys are starting all over. And I think also they need to go in the they need to not only go in the draft, but I don't want to see them do this again in the top 3 rounds because these players they have now are not all of them are top round draft picks. I would actually like to see them go in free agency and help them with their O-line and D-line. Troy Dudley said Hurts is like every running quarterback that can around 28. That ability will disappear and his liabilities will shine. Well, I'll tell you this, Troy. Right now, man, I'm just telling you. Jalen Hurts doing his thing, man. I ain't hating on him. Jalen has got a great opportunity. Jalen has the opportunity to get the number 1 seed, and they have a great opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. They do. Yeah, Lamar Jackson is 2-4 in playoffs. Jay Recruiter, what's going on? Cooper Rush might be playing his last days in the NFL. He won't be back in Dallas, and I doubt anyone signs him. We're going to see. Every time he hits that free agency market, no one agrees with these delusional Cowboy fans. No one agrees. Philly D says, made the playoffs this first year and had a rookie wide receiver. Yeah. Let me go down a few more here, then I'm gonna get back to my to where we are. Willie T said we losing 3 games. Now, Willie T, I'm gonna tell you why I don't think we're gonna lose 3 games. I'm gonna tell you that after I get done with my final thoughts on the game. But I don't think we're gonna lose 3 games. Yeah, Dak can throw past 10 yards for sure. Ice Tacker. Dak, Lamb, and Parsons should have walked away from this team. Then our casual side of the fan base can really see what they would look like. And I think the issue is they love the team. And I'll give them all credit for that. Suge Midnight, what's going on? Suge Midnight? Man, I'm telling you, boy, if y'all talking about Hurts, I'm just telling you, man. I ain't gonna say who he's better than. I'm gonna tell you what I like about Hurts. Hurts is what he is. And this dude, man, I'm not worried about him being quote unquote elite. This dude can destroy you. You got to think about how balanced Jalen Hurts is in a sense. He's not the best passer of the football. Nope, he's not. But I say it again. When I watch him play, he always makes about 4 throws in a game that'll make me go, what? How did he get that pass in there? Pinpoint accurate in a game about 4 times. He'll hit you with a pass that you'll go, there's no way he completed that. Yes, he did. He's got great wide receivers. They get separation. So Jalen's going to hit them when he needs to, just like he did last week. But then he'll make those 3 or 4 throws that'll make your head spin. But what makes him killer, people do not understand. Jalen Hurts, if I'm not mistaken, is a 600-pound squatter. This dude is super strong, lower body. You're not going to arm tackle him. And when he takes off, he's going to gut you for 12, 15, 17, might hit you for 20. Jalen Hurts is a true dual threat quarterback. He's not necessarily great at either one of them, but he's good at both of them. And that's all you need. Man, he's good at both of them. You don't have to say he's great at both of them. He's good. You take all these other runners. To me, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, great runner, good to average passer. Josh Allen, great runner, arrogant passer. Very strong arm. It's between him and Lamar Jackson who has the strongest. Josh Allen, arrogant passer of the football. And what they've done a great job with Josh Allen of this year, Josh Allen thinks he can get a football through the eye of a needle. That's how confident he is in his arm. And in the past, Josh has taken a lot of chances. Josh is a great runner of the football. Good to great passer of the football. Has made better decisions this year than he's ever made in the past. Patrick Mahomes, smart runner of the football. Rarely takes big hits. Messed around and got his ankle twisted up last week. But typically, he's a very smart runner. Great passer of the football. And when I look at Jalen Hurts and I compare him to all of those, what I like about Jalen, he's good at both. And that's all you need. He's very balanced with it. He's a good passer of the football. He's a good runner of the football. It makes him very dangerous. I'm telling y'all, man, Jalen is dangerous, man. Jalen is dangerous. And he's been a part. He's an extension of their run game. Y'all remember when Dak Prescott was like that? Dak was dangerous. Man, Dak was dangerous until he got that ankle broke. Dak was absolutely dangerous. And when you think about Dak in his rookie season, you couldn't classify Dak as a great quarterback cerebrally. He just hadn't been in the league long enough. But what was he? Was he a great passer? No, he was a good passer. Was he a great runner? No, but he was a good runner. He was so balanced as being good as a passer, good as a runner, he's dangerous. And doesn't the Philadelphia Eagles look similar? And when you paired Dak Prescott with Ezekiel Elliott, they were dangerous. They were dangerous. Frederick, Martin, Tyron, they were absolutely dangerous. I like what Jalen is doing. Nope, he doesn't have to be elite. I just like what he's doing. I like what he's doing. I want to see how far they can get doing what they're doing. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. That's all you got to do. Real Daryl, what's going on? Football will always be our winning the line of scrimmage. Yep. Running the football, stopping the run, field position, winning time possession. I keep saying it, Daryl. Two things travel well. Defense and running the ball. Because if you run the ball, you control the clock. If you run the ball, you control the tempo of the game. If you run the ball, less chances for turnovers. Run the ball, you win time of possession. You run the ball, you wear a team down, you crack them like an egg, and before you know it, they break. You win in the trenches. If you can stop the run, you can make a team one-dimensional. You can make it to the only thing they can do is pass the ball. And if you can make it to where they can pass, only thing they can do is pass the ball, and they don't have enough wide receivers, if they don't have super studs out there, you're going to get beat. You're going to get beat. That's how a lot of teams do it. You got to control both lines of scrimmage. That's it. That is it. Kirby said, I want Dallas to go to the playoffs. They will. It just won't be this year. Yeah, D-Block, we don't have a number 2 receiver. It's a shame. Philly D says, man, you Dallas fans always talk about the quarterback, talk about the quarterback, about the team. For real. For real. You're right, Philly. You're exactly right. And this is one of the reasons why when I talk about Jalen Hurts, I like what he's doing. He's fitting into the system. I bet you if you ask Dak Prescott would he like to be on a team like that, he'd tell you yes. Would he love to have an offensive line, a run game, 2 very good to great wide receivers, a tight end, a defense? Ask Dak Prescott would he have it. I bet you he'd tell you he'd love to have it. Ask Dak Prescott would he love to throw the ball on 20, 25 times a game. I bet you he would tell you he would love to have it. He'd love P-Funk, what's going on? P-Funk said, I told you we would not win a Super Bowl in Jerry Jones. Yeah. At the rate we're going, we're not. As Tekka said, we need a 1-2 punch like the Lions. Yes. And many teams are doing it now, days with the run game. Yes. And you know what? This is why I'm so happy for Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is on a mission. Saquon Barkley wanted to prove to this league that just because you hit 26, 27 in this league, you're not a washed-up running back. And that's exactly what Saquon Barkley is proving. I have to admit, I'm a little worried about Derrick Henry looking at how he's been looking the last part of the season. I've been a little bit worried. I'm wondering if he's running out of gas because I'm watching Saquon, and Saquon is still running hard, still breaking runs. And I'm not seeing that as much with Derrick Henry here down the stretch. But I'm happy for these older running backs, Nick Chubb, these guys who are all running the ball because Jerry Jones, and I think it happened really with Zeke and Todd Gurley. Zeke and Todd Gurley got these huge deals and then wound up getting cut because the performance dropped off so bad. And by doing that, it's like teams abandoned the running game and abandoned running backs. But then teams got smart because they started realizing that teams were just running cover 2s to stop Dak Prescott, stop Patrick Mahomes, stop Josh Allen, stop these prolific passing games. Matthew Stafford, all of these guys who were having these prolific passing years, they decided to say, no, we're gonna fix y'all. We're gonna start running that cover 2 shell, cover 2 cloud. We're gonna run cover 2. We're gonna make you have to throw tight window throws. And so basically, if you couldn't run the ball, then you were going to be in trouble. So a lot of these teams have all reverted back to, we're going to get a running game. We're going to get a running game. And teams are building up their trenches. They're building up their trenches. They're building up their run game. And we're watching as we look at, if you look at all of the top teams, just look at them. And this includes the Buffalo Bills. They all got a run game. The Chiefs got a run game. He got Pacheco. The Bills got Cooks. The Steelers, they got Najee Harris. I think his name is Harris. Najee. The Texans, I can't remember who they have, but they have a run game. The Lions had a 2-headed monster. One's gone for the season. The Eagles have a run game. The Vikings have a run game, Aaron Jones. The Ravens have a run game. The Buccaneers have a run game. The Chargers have a run game. I'm not so sure about the Rams. The Packers have a run game. See the difference? these teams are going to go far. That's why these teams, they're the playoff teams. You want to know why all these teams are on the bubble? They're on the bubble because they don't have the run game, or they don't have the defense and the run game. You look on this side of the ball, missing quarterbacks or missing run games. You look at these teams down here, they're all in the Saints, whole different story. Cowboys, missing the quarterback, bad run game, beginning of the season, did them in. 49ers, Christian McCaffrey, lost their run game. They're not in the playoffs this year. Cardinals don't have a run game as far as I know. Falcons, quarterback play, atrocious last few weeks. Seahawks, they have somewhat of a running game. I watched them. I forgot the guy's name. He had a name like a drink. What's his name? Chardonnay. They're actually in somewhat of a dogfight though in the NFC West with the Rams. Yeah, they're in a very tough division with the Rams and with the Arizona Cardinals. But for the most part, the teams with the run games, the defenses, looking like old school teams, and some of them with the added addition of the the quarterback being an extension of the running game, this is what you're seeing. Because Jared Goff is a pocket passer, but he's got a run game. Sam Darnold, he's a pocket passer, but they got a run game. So you're watching all of this, and these teams with the run games, they're going to be the teams that are going to be in the Final Four and eventually the Final Two, the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl. And so before we move on to the next topic of Micah Parsons, let me give my final thoughts on the Cowboys game. And what I think the score is going to be. So, my final thoughts on this Cowboys game. I just think the Bucs are a better and balanced team. I just think they're a better and balanced team. I just think they're going to be a hard out for the Cowboys. Because I believe that the Bucs, they're doing what anybody else would do. This isn't a knock on Cooper Rush. This is a knock on any team that would be playing with a backup quarterback. If I got a team that's playing with a backup quarterback, I automatically know what they're going to do. They're going to try to run the ball. So what I'm going to do is take away what they do better than anything, and that's run the ball. Number two, I know they have one wide receiver. This is the Green Bay game plan all over again. If I know they have one wide receiver, with a backup quarterback especially, well, I'm going to stop that one wide receiver that they have. I'm going to chip. I'm going to jam. I'm going to get my hands on him. I'm going to do everything within and outside of the rules to get physical with CD Lamb. I'm going to harass him all night long. He will never be, if I'm the defensive coordinator, CD Lamb will never be Cooper Rush's first read the entire night. He'll never get that opportunity. I'm going to make him beat me. Because if it comes down to him versus Baker Mayfield, who you got, that's what they're going to try to make this game come down to. Because I think that Mike Zimmer is going to come and he's going to pull a rabbit out of the hat. And I think Mike Zimmer, at least early on, because the Cowboys have shown a propensity to wear down in these games. Early on, I think Zimmer will be able to keep the game close. I do, because Zimmer has been doing that great of a job all season long. I am not going to knock Mike Zimmer. I think Zimmer will be able to keep it close. And this is one of those games that you want your quarterback in, because in a game like this, it is definitely going to come down to your quarterback. It's going to come down to your quarterback. And I'm taking Baker over Rush. The Bucs will focus on stopping the run. It's logical. They're going to focus on stopping the run. The Bucs will get after Rush. Their goal is going to be putting Dallas in 3rd and longs, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9s. Cooper Rush having to drop back to pass. Take away CeeDee Lamb as his first read. Who will be your second read? I don't know anybody on this team that's good like CeeDee Lamb that can take a 5-yard pass and turn it into 30. CeeDee Lamb's yak is incredible. Incredible. The Bucs will get out the rush. And I believe that the Bucs are going to turn Cooper Rush over. I do believe it. And I also believe Micah Parsons will be ineffective against this team because I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line and tackles they're just going to overmatch him. He doesn't do well against these teams that have the bigger, stronger tackles. He got a goose egg against the Cincinnati Bengals. I will not be surprised if he gets a goose egg against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers force the Dallas Cowboys into a Cooper Rush game, it's going to be, I believe, a 31-6 game. The Buccaneers, I believe, will beat the Dallas Cowboys 31-6. If the Cowboys can manage to run the ball, time of possession, win in the trenches, which they're still outmatched. I thought I had it on there. Hold on, let me put that on there. I believe that if they do that, still think they lose the game. I think they lose the game, but I think it'll be a lot closer. I think it will be somewhere around let me put my score up here. Hold on. I think it will be something like the Buccaneers 24. Buccaneers 24, Cowboys 13. I just think the Buccaneers are too balanced of a team for the Cowboys to beat. Y'all tell me what you think. What you think the score is going to be. But I do think that I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are just too much for the Cowboys. Yeah, Kitty boy, the management is holding the Cowboys back and will continue to be a problem for them. Hurts is a running back, one read quarterback. Hey, I'll tell you this, Jay Recruiter. I'll take it, though. Man, I'll take it. They 12-2. I'll take it, man. I'll take it. Average quarterback. I'll take it. For me, I'll take it. Jalen Hurts, good passer, good runner. He's a dual threat. I'll take it. Super strong. He can get you down there he can get you down there goal line, tush push. He can get you 3rd and 1s. Dude is super strong. I'll take it. Bro, I can't say great though. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he good. Good and good is balanced. I'll take it. Casey says, I can't stand Hurts. Similar to Lamar, you take away his legs and his running game, he can't operate from the pocket all day. But what I'll say this, KC, problem is, how do you solve that puzzle? How do you solve that puzzle? Man, I'm telling you, Howie Rosen deserves a lot of credit. Howie Rosen deserves a lot of credit. He's doing what a lot of these teams are doing. They're not letting games if they can help it. They don't want games boiling down to the quarterback anymore. They don't want it boiling down to where it's all on it's all on Dak Prescott. Well, we're doing it because we're saying that we only go as far as the quarterback takes us. Other teams are saying, nah, we're not going to do that no more. We're not going to do that no more. We want other pieces to take some of the stuff off of Josh Allen's plate, Patrick Mahomes' plate, Lamar Jackson's plate, Justin Herbert's plate. Let's take stuff off their plate. Jalen Hurts. We've already been to one Super Bowl with him. We can do it again. Let's get pieces around him that take things off the plate. Put defenses around him. Take things off the plate. Build an offensive line. Take things off the plate. Everybody's doing this but us. And I'm laughing that we're actually criticizing the teams that are doing it. Actually, we need to be learning from these teams. We need to be learning from these teams. We need to be looking at what they're doing and saying, maybe we need to do that. Maybe we need to do it. Because I'm still laughing. We're saying that Jalen Hurts is average. I can agree with you if you want me to. He's 12-2. And if you look at his schedule down the road, this team, the Philadelphia Eagles, and this is why I say Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones need to take notes. Take notes. Philadelphia built a team. We don't know how to build teams anymore. Jimmy Johnson was the last team builder we had. We don't know how to build teams anymore. Yeah, we'll get you to Dak Prescott. We'll get you to CeeDee Lamb. We'll get you to Micah Parsons, man. We'll get you to Demarion Overshown. We'll get you to Deron Bland. We'll get you to Trayvon Diggs. Yeah, we'll get you the player. And then we'll be bragging, yeah, the Dallas Cowboys, they got 6 All-Pros this year. We'll brag, we got 8 All-Pros. We'll have 8 All-Pros and no playoff wins. And then we'll blame it all on the quarterback. No, we're not building teams. The Detroit Lions built a team. The Philadelphia Eagles, they built a team that fits Jalen Hurts. Hey, Jalen, is he a prolific passer? Howie Rosen says no. But let me get him some super wide receivers. Let me get him a great tight end. Let me get him a super Dragon Ball Z home run hitting running back, Saquon Barkley. Let me put number 14 behind Saquon Barkley, Gaineswell. People are not giving that dude enough credit. Let me go in the draft and get me a couple of really good cornerbacks. Let me get my defensive line right. Let me build around the $50-something million man and not say because we're paying him $50 million that he has to do everything. No, you don't, Jalen. No, you don't. We know exactly what you are. So we're going to get you some pieces around you. Hey, Jared Goff. Hey, I wonder in the conversation were they talking? Hey, man, somebody said that Jared Goff is not a mobile quarterback. Don't worry about it. He's not going to have to be mobile. Not in the system that we're building. He's not going to have to be mobile. Because we're not going to get him just one running back. We're going to get him 2 so he doesn't have to run. That's what you do. You get him you get him 2 running backs. You get him 2 wide receivers. You get him a tight end. You get him a line. You get him a defensive line. You get him a defense. You get him a secondary. You build that around the $52 million man. Not in Dallas. We're the only team I know that keeps talking about what our quarterback is not. All the other teams aren't worried about what the quarterback is not because they're talking about what their team is. Not us. Not us, because we don't want to admit we haven't had a team. We have rarely had teams around the quarterback since Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman was the last quarterback with a team. Tony Romo and Dak Prescott have had the luxury of having players. There's a difference in a team and players. Because when I'm talking about the team, I'll say it again. I'm not just talking about the Jimmies and the Joes. I'm talking about the X's and the O's. I'm talking about the head coach, the OC, the DC. I'm going all the way upstairs to the GM. I'm going all the way upstairs to the owner. We don't have a team. Our team, we don't realize it's broken top down. Our team wins in spite of our ownership, in spite of the GM, in spite of the fact they don't play in free agency, in spite of the fact they don't make trades, in spite of the fact they don't build teams. We win in spite of that. In spite of that. How much better could this team be if we truly built a team from the GM down? We don't do it. We don't do it, and that's why we always talking about quarterbacks. I don't really think, I'm just being 100% honest. I don't really think it matters if you're talking about a team. I think that quarterback needs to be good because I'm not talking about a backup. I think you can do that with a backup every blue moon. But if we're talking about doing it consistency, if you'll just give me a good quarterback, just give me a good quarterback. I'm talking about one who can beat good teams too, not one who just give me two touchdowns. No, I can't deal with a guy who can only throw the ball 5 yards. I'm talking about you give me a good quarterback, good to great quarterback. Give me a quarterback that's got some kind of intangibles. Let me build a team around him, and we can win. Our problem is we always talking about our quarterback. No, what about our team? All the way up to the top. Azteca says people aren't paying attention to this league. You need to be balanced. Offense needs to be run heavy and pass secondary to get a chip, throwing all the time. This is why Andy Reid went away from that. Andy Reid has went away from that model. He's running the ball. The real fan says at least when Josh Allen has great players, he's great. I'm gonna disagree with you, real fan one. I'm gonna disagree with you. And the reason why I'm gonna disagree with you is because the stats and the games show you. Because Josh Allen hasn't won more games than Dak Prescott. Not in this last 5-year cycle. Dak has been second to Patrick Mahomes. And even when you look in this playoff cycle, I'm going to disagree with you again because now you're going to have to tell me how many Super Bowls have Josh Allen been to? I'll give you the answer. 0. How many AFC championship games has he been to? I'll give you the answer. 1. He gets beat a lot in the wild cards. Somebody's got to tell me. So you're telling me you're satisfied with 5 playoff wins versus 2 when they're both getting you the same result. Oh, I forgot. 1 looks better losing. 1 looks better losing. We got to stop this kind of thinking. No, in actuality, Josh Allen has looked atrocious in playoff games with really good players, throwing numerous interceptions, and no one acknowledges it. Numerous interceptions. Josh Allen has been a turnover machine as it applies to fumbles and interceptions. No one ever talks about it, but he has been. Turnover machine. It's amazing to me, these crazy... Josh Allen is 5-5 in the playoffs. So we're bragging about 5-5 versus 2-5. That's what we're bragging about. 5-5 versus 2-5. That's crazy work. That is crazy work. Crazy work. It's saying we the only ones make these dumb arguments. Only us. Josh Allen hasn't done any more than Dak Prescott. Okay, three more Super Bowl wins. Three more playoff wins. That's what you want? 3 more playoff wins. That's what you want. It's the same old argument with us. This is why we're not going to win. We're always talking about our quarterback. We're not going to win. Until we start talking about a team, until we start building a team, until we get an owner who stops making it about the quarterback, we're not going to win. We're not going to win. And this fan base will continue to be delusional as long as we keep this quarterback talk up. KC said the Eagles wisely protects Hurts and make sure that he has weapon he needs so he won't have to read the D all game. See, we're in this dumb Jerry Jones mode. Quarterback does everything when Troy Aikman didn't do everything. We're in that dumb mode. That's dumb mode. Troy Aikman didn't do everything. They had a team. Top 10 defense. Team. Arguably the best line in history. They had a team. They were not running around. People do not understand. Go look at Troy Aikman. I'm not going to do it for you. Go look at his playoff performances. One of his best playoff performances was the game he lost. But when you look at the ones that he won, Troy Aikman's, his stats were nothing to even look at. He didn't need to. He had a great team. We don't understand. We keep talking about the quarterback. We got a good enough quarterback. He's good enough, period. End of story. He's good enough. Our problem is we need to put a team around him like everyone else is doing, because I'm laughing. Everyone who's talking about Jalen Hurts, you're answering the question. Everyone's talking about, oh, Jalen Hurts, he ain't great. Jalen Hurts ain't this. He good. He average, blah, blah, blah. And he 12-2. He's been to the Super Bowl. Can we say that about our quarterback? We can't. Because we've never put a team. We've never put a team. There's a difference in players and a team. Jalen Hurts right now has a team. What's going on, Alan Beckham? He said, I saw a Tesla with a star on the hood. If Jerry sees that, he'll want the money. Jerry about that money. Hurts don't have a big arm and looks good because he has the best line in football and 2 all-pro receivers. But that's not his fault. His GM put him in a position to succeed. Now, no cap, I'm finna really hit you with something. Did Troy Aikman have the biggest arm? Nope. Nope. You don't need the biggest arm. You need a team. Jim Kelly had a bigger arm than Troy Aikman. Facts. Can't even argue it. Jim Kelly had a bigger arm. He went to 4 straight Super Bowls, lost all 4. He kept meeting teams that were better than the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills were the best team in the AFC. They were not the best team in the NFL. The Cowboys were. The Cowboys were the best team in the NFL. They were. They were. I'm going to tell you this, though, as it applies to Josh Allen. They got a few pieces around Josh Allen. And I think the best thing they did is when they got the play caller to take the ball out of Josh Allen's hand all the time. And now they use Josh Allen more when they need him rather than letting him be everything. And that has helped him out so much because now he's not turning the ball over. He's not turning the ball over. He was a turnover machine. He was a turnover machine for a long time. Not this year. And that's been the biggest. A lot of people don't understand it. That has been the biggest improvement in the game of Josh Allen, the turnovers. Because Josh Allen was keeping teams in games. He's not keeping teams in games no more. He's not losing leads. He's not doing all those things. No. They have put together a better team around him, and that's including the play calling. Yeah, I'm with you, D-Block. I just can't do the Mike McCarthy thing no more, even though I think the Cowboys may do it. No Cap says the Bills' defense is horrible and Amari Cooper is washed. We're going to see. I want to see what he looks like down the stretch. I noticed they hadn't been talking too much about him, but I want to see what he looks like down the stretch because if he is washed, the Buffalo Bills once again are going to fall short. Dak Prescott actually does carry teams more than people. Yeah, he does. And he's done it a lot, and that's actually been the problem for this team. That's why Dak has been, in the eyes of some, the letdown, because they always want Dak to be Superman. But if you look at the teams that are winning the Super Bowls, they're not asking the quarterback to be Superman no more. I mean, even like I said, Andy Reid has gotten away from that. D-Block, I said it before, we can't beat good teams. It's been our Achilles heel. No cap. Lamar has no excuse. He has Henry and 2 great tight ends and Andrews, and likely Flowers is a stud, no doubt. And now people are finally starting to say it about him too. They're finally starting to say it about him too. He got to put up or shut up this year because he got a team. Everybody will tell you, other than the Dallas Cowboy fans, everyone said it at the beginning of the season. They set Dak Prescott up to fail. They did. They did. No team did what the Cowboys did. We're going all in on the young players. Oh, that's what we're doing. So we're not going to have any depth. We're going to have an experimental offensive line, and we're going to take a whole season to get that right. We're going to take a whole season to get the defense right. So we're going to do all of that, signing the quarterback to a $231 million extension. That's what we're doing. No one else did that but the Cowboys. Philly said, I agree, Josh Allen's a beast, but wide receiver playmakers don't win Super Bowls. Great trenches and run the ball and stop the run. Reason why teams want mobile quarterbacks. Yeah. And Josh Allen, what they've done a good job of him with is that they're trying to stop him from being the ultimate playmaker. You got to let other guys make players, because if not, this is why Josh Allen keeps meeting his demise. You eventually get to the team that says, oh, he's going to be the playmaker. Well, we'll stop him. We'll stop him. I was just drive past through Highland Park and all that, and Jerry sees that star, he'll take the car. Man, Jerry is making that money. The real fan. See, you're missing it again, real fan. I'm not going to go and read, and Dak Prescott has had players. He hasn't had teams. You got to know the difference. I don't care if he had players. The closest thing that Dak had to a team was his rookie season. Travis Frederick was one of the biggest blows ever to this team. This team never recovered from Travis Frederick. They never recovered. This team literally fell apart after Travis Frederick. And Zach Martin is the last domino to fall of that era. That team basically got dispersed after that. You saw him piece by piece fall away. Dez Bryant fell away. Tyron Smith, he was in and out all the time, hurt. Travis Frederick, of course, was the beginning of that domino. Then we got Jason Witten out of the piece. Then we were only left with Zach Martin. So once you got to that point, you don't have that team that you had in Dak's rookie season. And that team was actually built for Tony Romo. They were going to try to finally give Tony Romo a team late in his career, which looks like the same thing that they're going to possibly try to do to Dak Prescott late in his career. Because I think the rookie team was way better than this team you're talking about in 2022. I don't think that team was that good. Dan Quinn's defenses, if you pay attention, Dan Quinn's defenses with the Cowboys, they were similar all the time he was here. And that's one of the reasons why Dan Quinn got tired of being here. They never gave Dan Quinn what he needed on defense. They never did. They never gave him what he needed. They never gave him the linebackers, because our linebackers, I mean, you think about the linebackers that he had while he was here. I mean, they were always in and out of the games hurt. He never had a steady linebacking core. And Jerry wouldn't go get him one. He did the same thing to Dan Quinn, and I'm telling you, Dan Quinn got tired of doing it. Dan Quinn got tired of doing more with less. And that's one of the reasons why Dan Quinn took a shot at Jerry Jones. He wanted to go to a team that cared about winning, because Dan Quinn said something about Jerry Jones that people don't want to admit. Jerry Jones, in reality, don't care about winning. He cares about winning, but not winning championships. Jerry wants to win his way, not anyone else's way. He doesn't. And I'm going to transition here. I want to transition to this thing with Micah Parsons. I've already talked about this, and I'm going to talk about it some more, because the people are going crazy, and they're trying to turn Micah Parsons into the greatest American hero for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to skip all the way down in the comments. What's going on, 70 fans? You said you're talking about Josh Allen, but you need to look at the other side. His team has gotten very frustrated with him at times. Yes, he's been the reason why they've lost. I've talked about it, the turnovers. And this is why now Josh Allen is looking so much better. He's not doing anything different than he's been doing in previous years. Josh Allen has been able to score touchdowns. That's nothing new, running and throwing. He's having some great games. But what's really making those games look even better is the lack of turnovers. The lack of turnovers are really helping him. And it looks like this year he may finally get his first All-Pro. see. But I think he's going to have a hard time doing it. But I think they'll probably give it to him. I think they'll give it to him because if I'm not mistaken, he hasn't gotten one. So they're going to probably give it to him. But the reality is, boy, he's having a great season. But, man, that dude, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson is actually having a better season than he did last year in the MVP season. And there's 3 games left. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. And so I want to look at this thing again with Micah Parsons, because the thing with Micah Parsons, it is very aggravating for me as a Cowboys fan, because Micah Parsons is doing something that he should not be doing. And I'm saying this because he should not be trying to help Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones do their job. No one else is doing this. No one else is doing this. Oh, let me give the team a team-friendly deal so they can keep players around me, the players around me that'll help me be successful. So now somebody's got to tell me who are the players that he's talking about. Because what is he calling success? Who are these players? Who are the players that he's talking about? Because we haven't been successful. We haven't been successful. We haven't. And so I'm wondering who he's talking about. And Micah Parsons, I don't care what anyone says, he is unequivocally taking shots at his quarterback. He is unequivocally taking shots at the quarterback when he says, you know what they say, when you're the highest paid, you don't have players around you. Who is the they and who is the we? Who say that? Because I don't know anybody else saying it. I don't know anybody saying that. We're the only ones saying that. Because all the other teams are actually paying their quarterback and they're getting them players. And this is not innuendo or conjecture. It is fact. Because even before Dak Prescott got this $60 million deal. But I want you to think about all these other players, all these other quarterbacks. Joe Burrow, weapons around him, yes or no? Yes. Jordan Love, weapons around him, yes or no? Yes. Trevor Lawrence, weapons around him, yes or no? Yes. Hadn't translated yet. Tua Tagovailoa, weapons around him, yes or no? Yes. Jared Goff, weapons around him, yes or no? Yes. Justin Herbert, weapons around him, yes or no? Yes. Lamar Jackson, weapons around him, yes or no? Yes. Jalen Hurts, weapons around him, yes or no? Yes. Look at this. You want to know what I find to be strange about all of these quarterbacks? They're all $50 million quarterbacks. Every last one of them. Every last one of them are $50 million quarterbacks. And when you look at them, they're all, and watch what I tell you. Don't you worry. Josh Allen, don't you worry. Josh Allen will be getting his money again soon too. And Josh Allen is probably going to surpass Dak Prescott unless they put this quarterback salary cap thing in place. But all of these quarterbacks at once upon a time, they were all the highest paid quarterback in the league. And they still got more weapons than the Dallas Cowboys. They all still got more weapons. They all have better teams. There is not one team. There's only maybe one team. And I don't even know if we could argue that team. But all of these teams with their quarterbacks in the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks. Eagles, do they have a better team than the Cowboys? Yes. Ravens, better team than the Cowboys? Yes. Chargers, better team than the Cowboys? Yes. Lions, better team than the Cowboys? Double yes. Eagles, double yes too. Dolphins, better team than the Cowboys? Yes. Jaguars could be argued. Better team than the Cowboys? Yes. Packers, better team than the Cowboys? Yes. Bengals, better team than the Cowboys? Yes. How did they all do it? How did they all do it? And Cincinnati is going to prove us even more wrong, because Cincinnati are going to get players around Joe Burrow. They're going to do it. Jordan Love was the highest paid quarterback. They got weapons around him. They're going to do it. Tua Tagovailoa, he got weapons. Not translating, but man, he got weapons. He does. He's got weapons. Tua got some head injury and stuff going on. He's got weapons. When you look at these teams, they all have weapons around them. They do. We're the only team that's saying this dumb stuff. We're the only team that keeps blaming the quarterback for every single problem this team has. We're the only team dumb enough to do this. No one else is doing this. No one. No, because these other teams, you know why they're not doing this dumb stuff? These other teams, they're happy. They're happy because teams are getting built around. Teams are getting built around them. Miss Matrix said, why do we say Micah talks too much? Did we say that about Mayweather? I did. Yeah, I did. I think a lot of these types of players, but when I talk about Micah Parsons, I don't mind Micah. This is just an opinion. My problem with Micah Parsons, he doesn't talk about himself. He talks in ways where he talks about other people. Miss Matrix, welcome. I'm glad to see you tonight. He talks about other people. It's one thing, and I said I was going to play this, and I'm going to play it. Let me play this, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you exactly what my problem is with Micah Parsons. I told Marlon Brando I was going to play this tonight. Let me cue it up. See, a lot of people are reporting on this just now, but I reported on this when it first happened. All right, y'all give me a second. I'm going to cue this thing up with Micah Parsons. All right. So I'm going to key up this part of the interview where this interviewer on ESPN, he's talking to Micah Parsons about his contract. He's already brought it up. And what he's about to do is he's about to bring up Dak Prescott's contract. And Micah Parsons, this is the part of the interview that's making a lot of the rounds. And this is where I say that Micah Parsons should not be saying some of the things that he's saying, or he needs to watch what he's saying so that he makes sure that he's only speaking for himself and he's not bringing any bad light on his fellow player. Listen to what he says.
Matter to you if Dak became the highest paid player in NFL history? Does it matter to you to become the highest paid defensive player?
I don't know. Like it really just depends on the circumstances of like who are we trying to get, who's trying to return. I look at it from a business.
So let me stop right here because I wanted to make sure I played this part for Marlon Brando. Now you got to listen to what Micah Parsons said. He said clearly the reason why he's motivated to do this. He said it depends on who we're trying to get and who we're trying to bring back. Now, if we're trying to get somebody, is that free agency? Y'all help me out. Bringing back is re-signing. Who we're trying to get is free agency. And Micah Parsons has already mentioned that Jerry is going to be a free agency player. He's alluding to this. Let me go back.
I look at it from a business side also, if we're going to be aggressive and bringing in players.
So Marlon Brando, so you'll understand, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just reporting stuff because I don't know. I reported this before everybody. He keeps saying, depending upon who we're trying to go after, is that free agency or re-signing? You don't have to go after a player that you're re-signing. You get first dibs on restricted free agents. He's not talking about his own players, Marlon Brando. He's talking about it depends on who we're bringing in. So the reason why he's saying he's willing to take less money because he wants Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones to pursue some players. That's what he's saying. And if you listen to this, what he says previously in the interview, he keeps talking about bringing in players
to play next to me, because right now you look at it, I don't know who I'm playing, besides Marshawn and Sam and Mozzie. I don't know, who's going to be in our room with Chauncey and Osa and D-Law, not being here. So to me, it's all about the foundation of the team. Like, how can I create the best foundation and play with the guys who've helped me create a lot of success, those guys.
Now, see, let me stop us again. Somebody has to speak sense. Y'all tell me y'all tell me. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. Y'all tell me. Whose job is it to build the foundation of the team? Whose job is that? Y'all tell me whose job that is. Is that Dak Prescott's job, CeeDee Lamb's job, Micah Parsons' job, Deron Bland's job, Trayvon Diggs' job? Y'all tell me whose job that is. Whose job is it to build the foundation of the team? Whose job is that? This is where I got a problem with Micah Parsons. Miss Matrix, this is what I'm talking about. I don't know who this man's PR team is. I don't know who the people he has around him. I don't know who they are, but they are doing a terrible job. Do we not realize that typically that when you're a person that's going to speak in the public, you typically have a personal relations person? Even when you have an agent. You and your agent, y'all talk about stuff. And your agent He's telling you things that maybe you need to stay away from in conversations. This is the talk that I do not like. It's wrong. 70s fan, thank you for answering. It is not his job. It is not his job to do what he's trying to do. He's actually hurting this team. He's hurting this team in doing what he's doing. The stuff that Micah Parsons is saying, I've already made this video. What he is saying in this video is dumb. It's not his job. Period. End of story. Jay Recruiter, he's trying to be the GM. He cannot be the GM because he doesn't make the decisions. Keep listening.
Guys helped me get to where I am, where I could become the highest paid player. So, I would like, for as many of us to be here as possible so we can continue having success, winning seasons. I know we've been injured, but, I don't think that changes the outcome. I think these last couple of weeks and been defining of our, our real defense that's come together, learning a new system. So, to me, it's just all about, the aggressiveness and how we look at, free agency and who I want to play next to, because I feel like, you see a lot of times, the highest paid, player, then we say they don't have weapons or, they don't have this. So I'd rather just be in the best situation,
Lies on top of lies. I'm gonna destroy your argument, I'm gonna destroy your argument. The GM needs cap space. That's his job. Do you not understand that, real fan? That's his job. I don't know where you work, but it's not your job to supervise if you're not the supervisor. That's not your job. You don't do that for the team. The team does that. It's not for you to be concerned about numbers. Your agent, his job is not the team. His job is his player. That's his job. We're the only one that think this dumb. We're the only ones this dumb because how are the other teams doing it? How are they creating all the cap space? How are they doing it? Why come we can't do it? We got a player here. We got a player that is actually saying he's going to leave money on the table. But I'm going to tell you about that part too, because I've already explained it. He's going to leave money on the table. So the GM can do the job that he hasn't been doing even before Micah Parsons. Stupid talk. We're the only ones think like this. This is dumb talk. It's dumb, period. We're the only ones we're the only ones buying this garbage. It's garbage. It's garbage. It's exactly what it is. It's garbage. Micah Parsons talking about he's speaking from a business perspective. No, you're not. It's dumb. Dak Prescott put in his contract, just like CeeDee Lamb put in his contract, that if the Dallas Cowboys want to make any moves, they flip a switch on their contract and they immediately get $120 million. $120 million in cap space. And Mike Fisher has been calling cap on this very conversation for weeks. Anybody who knows anything about the cap, they've been calling cap on this whole conversation that Micah Parsons is having all this whole cycle. It's a garbage conversation. It's garbage. And you could tell by the smirk that went on his face. You know what they say when you're the highest paid. Who say that? Who's saying it? I don't know anybody saying it but us. And Colin Cowherd, only when he talks about the Cowboys. Colin Cowherd didn't say it when Justin Herbert became the highest paid quarterback in the league. He didn't say it when Tua Tagovailoa became the highest paid quarterback in the league. He didn't say it when any of these other quarterbacks become the highest paid quarterback in the league. But it's the Cowboys. I forgot, it's the Cowboys. It's Cowboys, so we got to always make up stories. Micah Parsons is ignorant to the cap, and he is speaking things without knowledge. But he's taking a shot at his quarterback, and it's dumb what he's doing. Because we're the only team that says, again, we're the only team that says this dumb stuff. We're the only fan base that believes this fiction. Mike Fisher finally got tired of it. He said, Jerry saying we can't sign players is a lie. It's a lie. I'm going to go one even further for you. Y'all know what the next thing is they're saying? Micah Parsons, I noticed that he mentioned in this interview. I noticed that Micah Parsons said, you know, man, and people be talking about numbers and blah, blah, blah. You know what the talking heads are saying about Micah Parsons? That got some of our Cowboy fans in an uproar, but I absolutely agree with them because I was saying it before them, because I said it in the video I released about this. You know what they're saying that the Cowboy fans don't like? Micah Parsons should be giving the Cowboys a discount because he's not the best player at his position. I said it first. He's not. He's not better than Nick Bosa. He's not better than Nick Bosa. He's not. He's not better than Nick Bosa. I've already pointed this out. Micah is using buffoonery, smoke and mirrors, snake oil, just like his owner. He's playing the same game. I find it to be ironic that he said, I see no difference between 40 million and 30 million. There's no defensive end making 40 million, and the only one making 30 million is Nick Bosa. And if the Cowboys pay Micah Parsons $30 million, it makes him the second highest paid defensive end in football. Miss me, Micah Parsons. I can see right through this stuff. It's smoke and mirrors. $30 million will put you at number 2, and then at the very least, it'll put you at number 3. There's no one making $30 million but Nick Bosa, and you're not better than Nick Bosa. You're not. You're not better than Nick Bosa. The reason why he mentioned numbers also, you know why? Because his numbers don't even show he's the best defensive end in football. They don't. Micah Parsons is an absolute great player. Absolute. There's no argument. But to say he's the best defensive end in football would be insane talk. To say he's the best defensive end in football would be literal insane talk. And the talking heads are saying he should be giving Dallas a discount. You know why? Because the record shows he fades down the stretch. He has no signature games. When has he taken over a game in the playoffs? When has he done it? Name me the game. He hasn't done it. He has not done it. And we're making him a hero because he's actually conceding. I'm telling us this, and I talked about it in the video I made just yesterday. This man, what he's doing is genius. He's taking all the talk off the table that you could use against him to say, this is why we're not going to make you the highest paid defensive end. Because, number one, you're not the best defensive end. You don't have the big games. You fade down the stretch. You don't have the signature game. You don't have the most this. Hey, I'll take that argument off the table for you. I don't want to get paid more than Nick Bosa. What? No. Because to me, there's no difference in 30 million and 40 million. There is a difference because no one's making $40 million. No one's making $40 million. Nobody. So you gave me the baseline of what you'll take. $30 million. Let's stop acting like $30 million is no money. Let's stop acting like that $30 million is not a lot of money for a defensive end. $30 million puts this man at number 2. It's crazy talk. And he's acting like he's better than everyone else by taking a team-friendly deal. No, the talking heads are all saying the same thing I'm saying. Nah, bruh, you ain't giving us a team-friendly deal. You're actually talking about you're getting what you're worth. You haven't played good enough to be the top paid defensive end in football. This was going to be a tenacious fight. I promise y'all. It was going to be a tenacious fight between Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys. It was going to be a tenacious fight, and he knows it. So he's very genius in this part of it. I'll take all that talk off the table, man. Just give me $30 million. So what if they offer him 20? Because you said, whatever it takes for you to be on this team, how about taking 20? Because that's exactly what I would do if I was the Joneses. You don't tell people this in a negotiation. I've never seen anything like it. This man is saying he wants to take all of the negotiating off the table, even though he is negotiating because he gave the baseline of $30 million. There's no difference in $30 and $40 million, y'all, when you haven't been offered $40 million. Do we get my point? You haven't been offered $40 million. So, of course, there's no difference in the money that you haven't even been offered. But I'm going to say I see no difference in 40 and 30. So I'm going to set the baseline. So I'm negotiating my own contract. I'm telling us, this is crazy talk. Nisi said he would have had everyone talking differently had he stayed at linebacker. Say it again, Nisi. Micah Parsons, I've learned something about him. He cares what people think about him. There are very few people that don't care what people say about him. I'm one of those people. I don't care what people say about me because it doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it true because people are saying things. What makes it true are the facts. That's what makes it true. That's the only part I'm concerned with. I'm not concerned about what someone is saying as much as if what they're saying is true. That's the part I'm worried about. And with Micah Parsons, what is being said about him, it is actually true. That's the part that's concerning. He says things that puts other men on the spot. Stop saying anything that makes anyone else look better. Why did you have to throw in? Well, you know what they say, who's ever the highest paid, when your quarterback just became the highest paid. If that's not a shot, what is? It's stupid. Stupid. No, Marlon, you're asking the wrong question. I don't even know what you make on your job. So why are you not taking less money at your job? Why are you not taking less money? Why are you not taking less money? Why? Why are you not taking less money? Why are you not taking less money at your job so they can hire more people at your job? Why are you not doing that, Marlon Brando? Because that's not your job. Your job is to go to your job and perform and let your performance make you the most money that you can. It's your boss's job to figure out how to keep all the employees and do the job. I'm not doing your job for you. And again, Marlon Brando, you're wrong and he's wrong because Mike Fisher has proven this wrong. And the salary cap has proven this wrong. The Joneses are not signing people because they don't want to. I'm not doing nothing so Jerry and Steven can do what they've been doing. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. It's not my job. It's their job to keep the players, not mine. It's crazy talk what you're talking. It's crazy talk. So go to your job and you tell your job, hey, I'm going to take less money because I'm not. I promise you I'm not. And I'm going to tell anybody that if you're doing this, I'm going to tell everybody what I told them about Micah Parsons. Please, Dallas Cowboys, don't follow Micah Parsons' lead. And anybody who will take less money, don't follow their lead. You can do what you want to do, but I'm not. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that because I don't have to. I'm not doing it because I don't have to. And you're making a choice. You're making a choice. And guess what? And it don't make you better than anybody else. It don't. And I'm not saying it in a derogatory manner, but we got to start thinking. Micah is saying this makes him look better in the eyes of everyone else, but it doesn't. Don't make you any better. You made a choice, bro. You are not any better than me because you choose to take less money. You're not better than me. There's people on X, some people talking about, woo, and even Jerry Jones is talking about, ooh, Micah gets what we're trying to do. What? He gets what you're trying to do? So Dak don't get it, right? So Dak don't get, see, this is what I can't stand about Jerry Jones. Nisi, we've talked about this before. For every compliment Jerry gives Dak, I talked about last week, he endorsed Dak. For every compliment he gives, he'll come back and he'll slap that man in the face. What do you mean Micah Parsons gets it? I'm not giving billionaires. This is crazy talk. We don't even understand what we're saying. I'm not giving billionaires discounts. I'm not giving billionaires discounts. It's crazy talk. I'm not giving billionaires discounts. Somebody need to go study Howie Rosen. Because how did he make Jalen Hurts the highest paid quarterback in the league and then turn around and put players around him? I'm not listening to this. You make your own choices. And when you do, more power to you. I'm not going to hate on you for making the choice. But what I do have a problem with is when you make the choice and then you start trying to make someone look bad who didn't make the same choice you made when that's not the rules. Your choices are not the rules. Your choices are not even the morals and the values. That's the part that's got me hot. Don't try to degrade a man because he's not taking a discount. Hey, Nick Bosa, don't take a discount. You're the doggone best defensive end in football. It's their job to sign Brock Purdy and keep your deal. Miss me, this crazy talk. We are literally, I've been saying this over and over, we are becoming a reflection of the very crazy owner that owns the team. This is crazy talk. I wish I would. I wish I would. And if I'm Dak Prescott, I would never give Jerry Jones a discount. You made me play on 2 franchise tags, and then I broke my ankle. You keep waiting until everyone else holds out. You give them a deal. You make me wait until the last minute to get a deal. You Prince Trey Lance all up and down through the Dallas Cowboy facility. And you put on record, your son put on record that we were trying to see if Trey Lance could take the place of Dak Prescott. I wish I would give you a discount. I'll give you a discount, all right. I'll give you a discount. Here, I'll give you the pen that I'm going to sign the contract with. You don't have to use your own. You don't have to use your own ink. I'm not doing it. LaQueen said, and why are you worried about Dak's pocket? You say you want cuz in Dak don't care who like him or not. Mr. Brando. Exactly. I'm telling you. Dak don't need to give him nothing. Nothing. Because it's not his job. Your morals are not the morals. Your values are not the values. You can call it anything you want to. I don't care about restructuring or anything. That's not my doggone job. It's not my job. Only in Dallas do we talk this stupid talk. No. Every other team is doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing your doggone job. If I got to do your job, then you don't need the job. Period. You don't need the job. It's absolutely crazy. We will figure out every excuse in this franchise to make the quarterback the doggone scapegoat. When we know that this doggone GM team has been mismanaging this team for years. Miss me. I'm not listening to nothing else you got to say. It's crazy talk. Micah loves the bright light, and that's the problem. He's just like the owner. And that's why he's trying to beat the owner at his own game. He's trying to negotiate his contract in the court of public opinion. He's doing exactly what Jerry does. Jerry will start taking these players' contracts out to the public and start trying to shame them if they'll take certain money. That's what Jerry does. Well, we got to sign more players. The more slices of the pie you get, the less it is for everyone else. Miss me. You better learn how to slice that pie. Because if you don't think I'm worth the slice of the pie you're going to give me, let me walk. See, I'm going to put that ball back in the court. Let me walk. Dak Prescott didn't he didn't put something to their head saying, you better sign me. I recall Dak Prescott clearly saying, I'm prepared to play somewhere else. I am. Other quarterbacks that went other places late in their career and won. I'm prepared to do it. Dak Prescott was prepared to go somewhere else. Dez Bryant talked about this same stuff, these games the Cowboys play with these contracts. Micah Parsons said, I don't want to play those games. I'm going to try to get the public behind me. I'm going to see how this going to work out. I want to see how this going to work out. Hey, I'm telling you there, Darrell Carter, I ain't giving him nothing. It's not my job. It's not. It's not my job to do it. Darrell Carter said, I remember when D-Ware was taking pay cuts. I don't remember them doing anything with that money. I'm not giving them nothing. I'm not. Figure it out on your own. Figure it out on your own. That's not my job. I'm not the GM. Because if I'm going to be the player in the GM, then you actually need to be paying me more money. Micah Parsons is actually talking out of both sides of his mouth. Because you taking $30 million, you think you taking a $30 million average, you think that's actually helping the team, as in they're going to be able to sign more free agents? They're going to be able to bring players back? You just became, if they give you $30 million, the second highest paid defensive end in football. Take $20 million then. Take $20 million. Because if I'm Jerry Jones, that's exactly how I'm coming at you. I'm coming at you real hard now. Oh, okay. So you get it, huh? $30 million. You said 30. How about 20? Michael has set the baseline. And that's exactly what he did with the $30 million. No, I'm going to do 20. Freddie says every team does it to some extent. Let's not act like the other 31 teams are Snow White. Definitely not saying they're Snow White. But I'll tell you this. We're watching these players get paid, and none of them are saying this stupid stuff. None of them. None of them are disgruntled when the quarterback gets paid. None of them. And none of them have even had half the success that Dak Prescott has had. Sammy's fan, why did Dak Prescott sign? I don't understand. The only thing that makes sense is the love that he loves the team, and he's had a hard conversation with Jerry. He loves the team. This is the one knock against Dak Prescott. It's fine you saying that, real Daryl, a real fan won. That's great. It has no bearing on the fact he got the contract. None. You're talking about what you would do. Problem is, what you would do isn't the standard. It's not the standard. They gave it to him. Nobody made him do it. They gave it to him. He earned it. That's why they gave it to him. He earned it. Not only did he earn it because of the season that he had previously, not only because of the 3 seasons he had in a row, not only because of what he's done, his whole body of work with the Dallas Cowboys, but again, y'all don't understand football business. There's a reason why Cooper Rush can't walk into the office and say, I want to get paid $231 million guaranteed dollars. Man, get your butt out of here. How are you going to make us give you $231 million, Cooper Rush, when no other team will even give you $20 million? No other team will give you $10 million. No other team will give you $3 million because we got you on a 2-year, $5 million deal. You can't come in demanding to be paid if no one else is willing to pay you. So for any of y'all talking about you wouldn't pay Dak Prescott, don't matter. You got the money because he earned it. Because he earned it. And I'm not giving discounts to anybody. I'm not devaluing myself. That's your job. If you want my services, you better figure out how to pay me. You better figure out how to pay me. And if I give you anything, it's my choice. But you will not guilt me into giving you anything. And it's a crying shame what Micah Parsons is doing. Because watch this. See, what y'all don't understand, this is not about Dak Prescott. Micah Parsons is setting a deadly precedent. So you're saying, since you left money on the table so you could keep people around you, so we supposed to do the same thing so we can stay on the team? Because who gets to disperse the money you're leaving on the table? Who gets to disperse it? What player does the money? Now, this is why I played this interview, because if you'll notice, Micah Parsons is saying some stuff in this interview that people aren't talking about. It depends upon how aggressive we're going to be in free agency. It depends upon who we're trying to re-sign. It's dependent upon who we're going to go after. You don't get to make that decision, bro. Have y'all not realized that Micah Parsons actually thinks that there's some part of him where he's going to be able to decide who we get? But he's not going to be able to decide that. He's not. The job of every GM and owner in the NFL is to sign every member for less as possible and stay within the salary cap. The ones that don't stay within are forced to cut play. So, Freddie, I love what you said. It's their job. That's their job. You're exactly right. It's their job, not mine. Not my job. So you're either going to take me or leave me. I'll go somewhere else because the demand for Dak Prescott was high. It was high, and that's why he got the money, because of his performance. The 70s fans said we might see Cooper Rush Sunday night if Cooper Rush can't get away from the pass rush. No, I think they're going to let him finish the game. I think what we may see him is in the Philly game or either the Washington game. I think we may get a couple of games of Trey Lance because they lose on Sunday night, it's all over with. It's already all over with if you ask me. But again, this stuff with Micah Parsons is crazy. And the ramifications of what he's doing is insane. I'm telling DaRon Bland, don't you dare follow what Micah Parsons is doing. DaRon Bland, get your doggone money. This your first contract. It could be your last contract. Don't you dare leave no money. You mess around and have a career-ending injury. You don't need. See, this is the part that's dumb. Micah Parsons he don't have the right people around him. Bro, you talking about Super Bowls. Do you not realize it's not even promised you leave that field against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Stop this dumb talk. You act like your whole career is promised. You act like 2025 and 2026 is promised. And you sitting up here acting like that. You're going to be gifted this great career. Stop the madness. It's madness. Man, you make these deals like it may be the last game you ever play in your doggone life. You don't make deals like this game is guaranteed. It's a privilege to play this game. It's a privilege to wake up this morning. It's a privilege. We better stop living life and making plans like every single day is promised. Nah, bruh. Freddie, you said it right. That's their job, not mine. No, I'm taking care of my family. Somebody, ooh, your family, there's no way they can spend $40 million. No, you don't get to decide that, though. Y'all see what? This is the problem we start having. You don't get to decide that for me. You don't know how my family want to live. You don't know how I want my family to live. No, you don't get to decide that for me. And the fact that people are acting like he's doing something morally good. No. It's stupidity. Man, it's football business, man. This is not about what people think about you. Man, you leave that money on the table, it don't even guarantee you're going to win another game. It doesn't guarantee it. It's crazy talk. Exactly, Philly D. Parsons talking like he's going to be playing for decades. Look at this. Jay Recruiter said Diggs might never play again. That's what I'm talking about, Jay Recruiter. Michael Gallup. Man, you better get your money. This game is brutal. It's brutal. Folk don't understand when you're playing on a professional level, it's brutal. Man, you might lose your life out there. You can literally lose your life out there. Freddie says if a certain player wants to take less money to stay with his present team, that's on him. Exactly. And don't be flapping your gums about another player. Hey, Dak Prescott became the highest paid. Hey, you know what? I'm happy for Dak Prescott. I'm glad he got his money. He deserved it. He earned it. He got his money. It's not my business to be talking about what a man didn't deserve when I just heard him in the interview. People be talking about numbers. You know why he said that? Because he know he don't have the numbers to support that he should be the number one paid defensive end. Talking about you want to be in the best situation. Well, you might better find you another team. That's the cold hard facts. You might better find you another team. Because being on the Cowboys doesn't necessarily put you in the best situation. Because Dak Prescott, my wife says it all the time. She says she wished she'd have went somewhere else. But I'm going to tell y'all this. Jerry didn't want to see it. It would have been Jerry's worst nightmare if Dak Prescott goes to another team and win a Super Bowl. It'd have been his worst nightmare, and he didn't want it. 70s fan said, I saw Cooper Rush at the Panthers game. He was throwing behind players. He fumbled the ball with no one around him. The curve of grading Cooper Rush is different for the Cooper Rush apologist. They're waiting on him to win the fourth game because they're going to say he won more games than Dak this year. They're just waiting on it. Yep, Dak is a scapegoat for this team. Even Micah Parsons in his comments, he's talking about Dak. Now, his brother is on X trying to defend, saying he wasn't talking about Dak. So tell me then, they say when you're the highest paid player, you don't have players around you. Name the team they said that about, other than the Cowboys. Because the Cowboys the only team I've heard Colin Cowherd say that about. I have not heard no one else say that about another team when their quarterback getting paid $52 million, $55 million. No, they'll say they deserve it. I haven't heard anybody else say this stuff but the Dallas Cowboys. We're the only ones that say it. Philly says all the players make your money and let the GM figure it out. GM says no, then you get cut or traded. See you later. See you wouldn't want to be you. Money talks. Talk runs a marathon. Nope. I'm not in it for the marathon, bro. Give me my money. Simmons Finn says, I don't know who Michael Parsons' agent is, but he can't be happy with him. Bro, it's not just his agent. This man must have no public relations people. When you become a business in yourself, one of the first things you want to get is you want to get an agent and you want to get you a public relations manager. So you make sure you get you a public relations manager, a publicist. So you make sure things that you write, things that you say, that they are very calculated. They don't bring any damage to anyone else. Mike McCarthy said it best. Stop saying things that other men have to answer for. Hey, Dak, Micah had a interview. And he was saying when you're the highest paid player, you don't get players around you. What do you think about that? Why? Why do that stuff?